13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome on into another edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Shit ton to talk about today, but before we get to all that, I am Steve. I got Timmy T.
Justin
Right
Herbert
on over.
Justin
Right,
Herbert to
right
the
on
Giants.
over here.
Thank you, Mr. Harbaugh.
on,
We appreciate, Mr. Harbaugh, what you're going to do for us. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
In advance.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Timmy, fresh off big Just Too Sweet episode yesterday.
Yep. We celebrated the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania, which was fun. Yeah, we talked about the Royal Rumble. We did the 95 Royal Rumble, which was interesting. And
covered the end of AEW, and
AEW has 1,000 people in attendance tonight. 1,000 people in a 10,000 seat arena.
Oh, who are the believers in AEW amongst our crowd? Was it Bert? Probably, right?
Well, he believes in everything. Sunshine and rainbows, baby. Sunshine and rainbows. Hey, I want them to succeed. I really do. I mean, because it's better to have more than one option, but they just ain't doing it.
That's right. 1,000 people. Oof. You imagine the performance. Edge must be like, what the hell did I do?
That's what they're saying. They're saying that WWE gets CM Punk and they tripled their merchandising. They got $1 billion deal. Attendances through the roof. All this, and then they get Edge, and Edge is doing nothing except fighting mid carders already. He had one fight with Christian, and now he's in the mid card spot.
That's crazy.
What are they doing?
But I thought CM Punk was the problem.
Obviously not.
Seems like they got some other problems over there.
There were a lot of problems over there.
But one of the best memes ever in life came out of CM Punk's frustrations.
That's right.
With AEW.
But I'm hoping he gets to talk about it one day. He's probably under a gag order right now. Probably got a gag order going on for at least a little while. I'm hoping he gets
then he goes on the Stone Cold show and lets loose.
Exactly. That's what I think they're going to wait for. Put him on the Austin podcast, and then he'll just blow his shit up. So,
that's right. That's right.
You think they'll wait for AEW to go under before they do that?
I'm pretty sure he has to have a gag order or something. He has to. He hasn't said one word. That's not good. And him and Cody were in the ring together last night going at it, and not one of them said AEW or former company or where we were or anything along those lines, which is, Punk wants to say something.
Well, but I mean, you got to think back even to like the Monday Night Wars, like WWE guys, they never really directly mentioned WCW or anything like that. Like every once in a while, someone would be like that other show or that other program or.
Well, Shawn Michaels always said hello to Kevin Nash and Scott Hall on TV, and he goes, "Oh, the people down there who aren't dinosaurs are my friends," that kind of thing. So it was great. Yeah, we had fun last night.
All right, sir. We got Anthony right down here. What's going on, sir?
Not much, man. Not much. It's Wednesday, I think. I don't even know what day it is. This week's been crazy. I've been up since like 4 o'clock this morning, so it's been a long day. I had to go to the West Coast today. So,
well, we only have 2 hours left, so hang in there.
we have a minimum of an hour and 55 minutes left.
And a 90-minute show ahead of us. So, he's like, really? You think so?
You sure about that?
So, Ann, your subtitle there, does that mean that we're gonna get some hockey news tonight?
Yes.
Nice.
We did not get a power ranking sheet. I've decided to delay the power rankings until the All-Star break, because that just seems like a perfect spot to really get a good jump on power rankings, and then I can keep it updated the rest of the way. But we're gonna go over some standout players, standout teams, some hot streaks, I was debating on whether to cover this Hockey Canada junior team stuff from 2018. I still don't know if I want to cover that or not, but that's an interesting story to say the least. Yeah, we're gonna get some hockey stuff though.
Right.
I'm prepared. I'm prepared
is the fourth man prepared to enter the dome, the Thunderdome?
I don't have the backstage access, so I don't know. There he is. There he is.
What up, fellas?
Melo, what's going on, sir? How's it going?
We got a lot of basketball.
For your intro. That's right.
You said I missed the intro?
No, you're just in time for your intro.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What's up, guys?
Take him back out so I can really like bring him in.
But we got to get Anthony. I'll give you my access, Anthony, after in a couple of weeks when I go.
Only 3 people are allowed to have premier access. So.
No, that's not true. We can get you fixed up. We'll get you hooked up. You're
as long as you have a show. As long as you have a show, they give it to you.
I had my remote, and then I finally got it back like a couple months ago. So it takes its time, It's got to go through different levels. There's several clearances, background check.
Do I need to get my agent involved? That's what I need.
Melo
to know.
screwed something up.
I need to call my agent.
I mean, you'll have a random knock on your door one day for a drug test. Just know that
They say what happened in 5th grade. They're like, what the hell happened in 5th grade? I was like, oh shit, 5th grade. I remember that. Yeah, I gotta tell them what happened. They want to know everything.
CEO of this company doesn't care about.
Who told you?
They want to know everything. Davey, we're just talking about it real quick. You see AEW tonight? Did you see their attendance?
No.
Just over 1,000 people.
Oh my god.
They did some slick camera tricks to open the show, though.
I mean,
looks like it's a full house, but it ain't.
Do they have them all like herded together, or
herded in front of TV? Yeah, TV camera.
Or do they separate them all and they put CGI as the rest of the audience?
They can't afford CGI.
I think what would be funnier is that every time they go to transition cameras, they yell to the crowd, so the crowd has to like shuffle over to the other section to change the camera angle.
Right.
Move, shift,
move.
Everybody rise and shift.
Cutting to camera B. Everyone shift left. Camera B, go.
All right, Melo, what's going on with you, my friend?
Nothing much. Took a nap after work because I was dead tired.
Wednesday evening nap.
Yeah, but I made sure I got up in time. I mean, somewhat on time,
This is on time for you. We were less than 10 minutes into the show. You're on time.
You guys didn't have to remind me, like, hey, I wonder where Melo's at. So it's a good day.
Anthony doesn't have to scream at you in the chat. Melo, where the fuck are you?
Exactly. I couldn't miss today, especially that we're finally gonna get some hockey talk. And before I got on, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw something that happened literally seconds within the Panthers game. So I can't wait to talk about that.
That was pretty cool, actually. I saw that just a few minutes ago, actually, before we went on the air.
Interested in hearing this. Yeah. All right, so hockey, NBA stuff going on. We got a new head coach in Milwaukee. The Miami Heat have a new player, right? We got an NBA. Feels like one a week right now. We're getting. We've talked about one trade each week. Thus far, we got, of course, what happened in the NFL this past weekend, what's going to happen in the NFL this coming weekend, and Hall of Fame, MLB. Let's see who got in. Were there any snubs, or were there anybody that got in a little sketchy. So all that and more right on the opposite side of this bad boy. All right, welcome back on in here, guys. Let's start off with something that we haven't really talked about yet too much this year, besides the absurd start of the New York Hockey Rangers. Let's get it started off with a little bit of hockey here.
Hockey. So we are officially past the halfway point. All-Star break's coming up in just a couple weeks.
That's right.
Is it next week? I think, right?
Is it next? I think it's. Oh yeah,
it's
end
February.
of January. Oh shit, today's the 24th. Yeah, good lord, we're a month gone in 2024 already. In case anyone didn't realize that, even though New Year's was yesterday. Apparently we 23 days at a time. That's insane. Okay, sorry. I just golly. Anyways, so yeah, so we got some stuff to talk about in hockey. We're gonna start off with just who's hot, who's not. I know we've touched on it a few times throughout the season. We talked about the Rangers and their hot start earlier on. They have cooled down a little bit here lately, in large part due to, in my opinion, Igor Shesterkin's struggles. But the bright side of that is that Jonathan Quick, longtime Los Angeles Kings netminder, former Stanley Cup champion, Jonathan Quick has really picked up the slack for Igor. He's actually top 10 in the league in goals against average. I believe he's also top 10 in save percentage, if I'm not mistaken. So Jonathan Quick's really helping keep them afloat here while Igor tries to figure some things out. They are still record-wise the second best team in the Eastern Conference, although nipping at their heels is the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers started this season without their two best defensemen, Brandon Montour and Aaron Ekblad, both coming off injuries from their Stanley Cup run last year. This team, while not probably clicking at the same level they were at in the playoffs last year, they've been really, really good. Matthew Tkachuk's finally starting to get going. The defense is getting healthy, and Sergei Bobrovsky is playing great hockey. It feels like they're gearing up for another run themselves. Wouldn't shock me if we're talking about Florida again, making a run. That's a really good team. This is what they envisioned when they pulled the trigger on that big Matthew Tkachuk trade. When you trade for a player like Matthew Tkachuk, one of the 5-6 best players in all of hockey, and you trade franchise cornerstones like Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar and things like that, you make that trade because Matthew Tkachuk is 25 years old, 26 or 25 years old at the time. He has a long career ahead of him, and he makes everybody around him better. And that team, especially with head coach Paul Maurice, have just taken on this identity, and they are just humming. I really love the way they've been playing. If you get a chance to watch, I know Melo gets to watch them a lot more than I probably do, because unfortunately I'm in like a weird blackout spot for them. So technically I have both Florida sports networks here. I have the Central Florida version, which covers the Lightning, and I have the South Florida version that covers the Panthers. So like if the Panthers are on, I can't watch them on ESPN because of local blackout, because I get that channel here. The problem is that channel here, because I'm not in South Florida, will have an alternate broadcast on that is not the Panthers game when the Panthers game is on. So I can't watch them at all. I can't watch them on ESPN through ESPN Plus, and I can't watch them on TV. I have no way of watching the Panthers. It's the most annoying thing. So sorry, mini rant over. I apologize. Continuing on with teams looking good.
NHL? Fix it. Yeah,
someone fix it. Steve, post some streams for me, please.
Lockouts should just be, who cares? Let's get rid of
that 1950s nonsense. They need to get rid of the blackout rules. Yeah. They're terrible. But also in the Eastern Conference, probably the biggest surprise this season has been the Philadelphia Flyers, a team that most people had picked to be among the worst teams in hockey this year. They actually have the 4th best record in the Eastern Conference currently. They're playing really, really good hockey. The team seems to be flourishing under John Tortorella, which is not something feels like we've been able to say a ton in the last several years. So good on them. And and then some of the former powerhouse teams like the Washington Capitals and Pittsburgh Penguins. It truly looks like this year is, I don't want to say the end of the run, because they're not making a run this year, neither of those teams, but like this is probably the last time we see those teams as we remember them, with some of the key pieces that they've had. Washington already looks drastically different than they've looked over the last 10 years. And Pittsburgh, I know they made the big Erik Karlsson trade in the offseason, but it feels like they're gearing up for a semi-rebuild here. There's a lot of talk that Jake Guentzel is going to be on the move here before the trade deadline. So we're entering a new phase of hockey when the Pittsburgh Penguins are no longer relevant. Thank God. We like them anyway.
Pat McAfee.
Moving over to the Western. The Vancouver Canucks, who finished last season with 83 points and with 24 regulation wins over the entire season last year, have the best record in all of hockey right now. They have 68 points currently. They have 30 regulation wins through 47 games. What that means is they've won 6 more games in regulation in the 47 games they played this year than they were able to manage in 82 games last year. They look really good.
That's not bad, Ant. It's not bad by my calculations.
Seems good. Seems good.
Huh?
Good at but they look great. It's kind of funny, they've had a really solid roster there for a lot of years. Or I shouldn't say a solid roster. They've had a lot of talented players. Players like JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes. These guys have been there for multiple years. It's not like they just brought in some of these guys. They've been there. But this year, it's finally come together for them, and it's clicking. And they are playing outstanding. Like I said, best record in hockey right now. The Winnipeg Jets, which is also semi-interesting. There was a lot of talk in the offseason. Connor Hellebuck and Mark Scheifele, their former captain. Not many times you see a player get stripped of a team's captaincy and stay with the team, but Mark Scheifele is still there. But this offseason, they were entering the last year of their deals this year. A lot of talk that they were going to get traded, and to everyone's surprise, they both signed matching 8-year deals to stay in Winnipeg. And a similar situation in Winnipeg to kind of like what I talked about in Vancouver. This is not a very different roster than they had last year when they struggled to be a bottom feeding playoff team. And this year they have the second best record in the West. And they look good. Connor Hellebuck is playing his normal Vezina style, Vezina caliber hockey. They've been solid. Also out in the West, a lot of teams that you would expect. The Colorado Avalanche are up there, the Dallas Stars, and of course the reigning champs, the Vegas Golden Knights. One team in the West I did want to highlight before I start getting into like some individual stats, the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers actually started this season out brutal. So much so they got their head coach fired. They are in the midst of a 14-game winning streak currently. As at the time of me speaking right now, they are in the midst of a 14-game winning streak. They are only the 7th team in NHL history to reach 14 straight wins. So a pretty rare feat for them. They've basically brought themselves out from, I want to say, like the 4th or 5th worst record in the West. They are all the way up now into, I think they're tied for 5th. No, they're in 6th. Sorry, 6th best record in the West. So they've been on a nice run here of late. And then just to highlight a couple players that really stand out with what they're doing, statistically speaking, there are 2 players offensively that are very clearly standing out above the rest. And those 2 players are Nikita Kucherov, forward for the Tampa Bay Lightning. As of right now, he has 80 points this season. Second in the league in points is Nathan MacKinnon with 77. The next closest player to either of them is David Pasternak with 67. So that means McKinnon is 10 points higher than third place, and then Kucherov has more than McKinnon as well. And then obviously, if you go down the list even further, go down to 4th, the 4th players, which is Artemi Panarin and JT Miller, who are tied at 63. So a pretty large gap that McKinnon and Kucherov are out to. Nathan MacKinnon had a stretch here. I think they just snapped it of, I want to say it was 30 straight home games with a point. So that's a rare
No
feat
place like home,
itself.
baby.
Yeah, that mile high, baby.
There it is.
He's off to an insane start over the last. That's by far my favorite hockey mascot, by the way. Easily, not even a question about it. But Nathan
McKinnon was going to maintain all professionalism and just power through that.
You know better than that. Stop it. Nathan MacKinnon actually over the last calendar year leads all players in points scored with, I believe it was 137, I think was the number, 135. So Nathan MacKinnon just playing outstanding hockey right now. Also, I cannot bring up all these goals being scored without mentioning a couple of goaltenders that are really standing out. One in particular that I like to point out is a player. He hasn't played a ton this year, only 16 games. But Aiden Hill leads the league in save percentage and goals against average. Here we are 40 games in. So Not a ton of starts under his belt, but he's playing good hockey. Boston is getting great goaltending from Jeremy Swayman again, not quite to the same level as what they got from him last year. Connor Hellebuck, as we mentioned. But yeah, it's been an interesting year. We'll touch on the rookie stats. Connor Bedard, even though he hasn't played in 3 weeks now, still leads all rookies in points with 33. He's 5 ahead of Brock Faber and Marco Rossi. He'll be back. They're saying he's going to miss the All-Star game, which he was elected for. So it's a shame he won't get to play in his first All-Star game, but he's probably still going to run away with that rookie points title. And yeah, that's about it.
What was
for
that?
hockey.
What was
We're
that
gonna have-
originally? It was how long would a 5-week injury?
They originally said 4 to 6, but then it sounded like they shifted that timetable to 6 to 8, which I think is Chicago just being cautious with him. They're the worst team in hockey this year. They're not going to win many games whether he's playing or not. So, and what's even crazier, I don't know if anyone saw the way he got hurt. Driving down the ice, took a big hit from player's name escapes me now. Took a big hit, and then of course Nick Foligno, teammate, goes and sticks up for him, and gets the fight. And then in the fight, Nick Foligno injures his hand and is out for 4 to 6 weeks as well. So
it happened right before we went on the air one night.
It
right?
did. You are correct. Yeah, like it was like right before we went on the air.
Yeah.
Silliness.
So hockey's been wild. That Oilers 14-game streak, I don't believe they're playing tonight. I would have to I think they play tomorrow night if I remember correctly. But 14 straight games, like I said, only the 7th team in NHL history to reach that number. So something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, they're not playing tonight.
Oh, and Melo wanted to touch on the opening of the Panthers game. I did not see the reasoning why this happened. Did you see or hear of why? Because I didn't catch that. I just saw it.
No, it's not a banana jersey line. No, I don't know what caused it. I just again was scrolling and
that would be great if it was a banana jersey.
No, it's a Marlins one. Columbia.
Oh, that's a yellow Marlins jersey.
All right, Columbia, I forgive.
Yeah, Columbia.
What happened at the beginning of the game?
So they were literally right about to start the game. They have Lombard
take face off
at center ice, taking the face off, which he never really does. And as soon as they drop the puck, boom, gloves come off, fight. So that they give out the penalties, they go again, drop the puck, bam, fight again. Literally like 8 seconds into the game. Nice. 2 fights right when it starts.
Yeah, 20 penalty minutes in the first like 5 seconds of the game. It was pretty wild.
And as of right now in the third half, the Panthers are winning 6-1.
That's great for you guys. Like
they're
2 fights and 6-1. Damn.
Yeah.
They're playing the Coyotes. I that's why I didn't understand it when I saw the fights. I'm like, is there something I missed here? Like, where did this bad blood between the Coyotes and the Panthers come from?
Yeah, I have no idea. That's why it was really random. They're gonna beat down everywhere today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Panthers really lit it up. Kachuk with a pair of goals and an assist.
That's the way you do things when you get into a fight. Baseball, you get into a brawl, you want to beat them like 13-2. Whip up on them.
Yeah, the official stat was 20 penalty minutes in the first 7 seconds of the game.
What the fuck?
See, it's just wild. But great, love it.
But for real, how many people actually witnessed that? You know how late arriving the Florida crowds are.
Oh, so it's because of traffic. Stop it.
I mean, it's not like the arena's in a place that's not surrounded by traffic.
Yeah, not a lot of traffic.
You should be able to attest to.
Outside of that, they park at the mall and walk across the street.
Huh? Fudge, let them park in your driveway. Let them park in your house,
like they used to do at the Orange Bowl down there.
Make some money.
What they do now at Marlins Park. No, when Marlins Park first opened, I parked at a lawyer's office for $6. Great spot.
Yeah, I just parked in someone's front yard. I think I paid like $6 or like you said, I think it was like $8 or some shit like that first time I went
now,
down
inflation that's probably about $25 now. Wow.
See, this is why I need control so I can put comments
up. So
like that.
So we don't hear from a line for months. A year. And here he comes.
It's a new year.
Coming for us.
Oh, don't get him started because
Giants
he's then
fans.
going to go on to Daniel Jones route. Well, have you seen what they do at the Marlins game now for parking, like the actual parking structures?
No.
So now
what
it's
do they do?
so you know how before you would $20 or whatever. Now it's a pay by phone.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I went to a couple of games last year.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Oh, and I did want to ask you one thing hockey related, and it's about the Maple Leafs. Since we have a AZ in our family that he is a Maple Leaf fan. Do you think they're underachieving and maybe they should make some coaching changes? Because I feel like they have a good team, but
they've been underachieving for years, and I don't think it's
Shouldn't they always?
What I'm saying, like right now, like I feel like
coaching.
if you look at their squad, like their squad isn't bad. Like it should not be 7th seed in the East.
No, they have 3 of the best offensive players in all of hockey. Like it's not. I wouldn't put them on the same level as like what McDavid and Draisaitl are as teammates in Edmonton, but like Austin Matthews is a top 2-3 goal scorer in the whole league. Mitch Marner is one of the best playmakers in the whole league, and William Nylander is rounded into a really, really nice offensive weapon. I think they overpaid him a little bit with his contract, but who am I to decide what people get paid? Good for him getting his money, but I think a lot of that, I think a lot of the trouble they run into being a Canadian team is because of the way the taxes shake out. So someone did the math on this. Matthew Tkachuk's deal in Florida pays him, or was it Matthew? I think it was Matthew Tkachuk, pays him like $8.75 million a year, I think it is, or $9 million a year maybe. Matthew Tkachuk makes like $3 million more per year than William Nylander will make, and William Nylander's number is actually $10.5 million. So even though he technically makes $1.5 million more by contract, Matthew Tkachuk's actually taking home a lot more money because of the tax differential between Florida and Canada. It was one of the reasons. If you looked at the leaked list of where Matthew Tkachuk said he wanted to go when he was getting traded, I think it was like 3 of the 5 teams he listed were in tax-free states where he wouldn't have got taxed. So he was definitely thinking about it.
All right.
It's like all the travel nurses. They were in Florida. They traveled. They did the travel nurses to Texas, and California more so for this story. But because they're traveling and their residences in Florida, they make
more money.
$9 million an hour doing the travel nurse thing in California with the Florida tax rate.
The greatest.
Gotta love the loophole. The other thing I wanted to bring up was, what do you think about the Utah Jazz owner wanting to get a team, an expansion team? He's been asking the league. He wants to get a team in Utah. Think that'd be a good start, or
I think they're going to end up getting a team. I don't think it's going to be an expansion team though.
Oh,
Mormons can't play hockey.
I don't think it's going to be an
hockey.
I think more than just soaking.
They barely want basketball.
So, well, 2 things. I'll cover the thoughts on Utah actually having a team, and then I'll go over to the way that those comments came out today, and I guess we'll touch on the Canadian junior team stuff real quick. So,
makes sense.
The Arizona Coyotes were supposedly given a January 31st of this year, 2024 date by the NHL to figure out something with an arena. Right now, they're playing in a 5,000 seat college arena. And a number of players have been outspoken about it because of the differentials that this brings to the revenue sharing. Because a team like Arizona playing in such a condensed venue is losing so much money in revenue because of that, it's hurting the players essentially. It's making the players have to pay more money in escrow or lose more money through escrow every year because of that. So the NHLPA basically was like, hey, you guys got to figure out something by this day and lay out your plan to us and let us know. Well, that date is a week away, and there has been 0 progress on an arena deal in Arizona. Supposedly they have a property that they are interested in, but that particular property is going to go to an auction process, and it is not like a one-day auction. Apparently it is a long drawn-out bidding auction process. So it sounds like there wouldn't even be resolution on that plot of land for months and months from now. So you're talking about not even breaking ground for at least another year plus. So I think that the Arizona Coyotes end up in Utah. That's my thinking. How they would do that, because they
today.
Yeah. Now, as far as that letter coming out today, it came out literally 5 minutes after the report came out that the London, Ontario police had requested that 5 members of the 2018 Canadian the Canadian national juniors team turn themselves in for sexual assault charges. There has this has gone crazy. Sorry, we just got really into
Oh
it.
my goodness.
There's been an investigation ongoing into this for quite a while now. So it involves, like I said, 2018 Canadian junior team. Technically, the players who are being asked to turn themselves in have not been named yet. However, just so happens in the last week, there's been 5 players who have been granted leaves of absences from their teams for personal reasons. And it just so happens that all 5 of those players played on that team. So I think we kind of know who those 5 players are. You want me to run down the list for you real quick?
Let's do it.
Do it.
So Philadelphia Flyers goaltender Carter Hart.
Good. Philadelphia.
Calgary Flames forward Dylan Dubé. The third player actually is not currently playing in the NHL, but his rights are owned by the Ottawa Senators. His name is Alex Formenton. He's playing currently in a Swiss league. He was granted a leave of absence by his Swiss team to return to Canada. The other 2 players both play for the New Jersey Devils. Defenseman Cal Foote.
Jersey.
And forward Michael McLeod. So all 5 players granted indefinite leaves of absences from their teams. All 5 players, teammates on that team. And it's interesting. Brady, his name sounds like Kachuk, but it's not Kachuk. But there was another player on the team who was questioned about it. And he said, I had nothing to do with it. I've cooperated with the whole process. I don't know what went on, and I wasn't a part of what went on. And I cooperated with everything they asked me. So like he basically was like, fuck those guys, ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm still playing hockey. But yeah, so it's getting serious. The London, Ontario police announced that they will have a press conference on February 4th, which I've never heard of someone announcing a press conference 2 weeks in advance. But whatever. They'll have a press conference February 4th where more information will be let out, because right now it's basically, just we're working off of reports. There's no official information. So February 4th with that meeting with the London, Ontario, the press conference with the London, Ontario police will probably give us all the insight into that. And that's why I was kind of laughing about the release, because that release from the Utah Jazz owner literally came out 5 minutes after the story broke nationally about the 5 players being asked to turn themselves in. So
coincidence?
It definitely seems like the NHL was like, hey, you want in, right? Well, you're going to learn to play by our rules. You need to do us a solid right here. I need you to release this report in 7 minutes.
Wow, I did not know anything about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a pretty wild day. Pretty wild day for hockey news.
Can I just say I'm glad I took the mask off right before you said that story, because sitting there wearing that mask while you're talking about sexual misconduct is
not great.
What did it feel with the big googly eyes?
And when they name a flyer too.
Now I really wish that he would have gone right into it.
I'd have been like, oh.
assuming that those are the 5 players, which it's largely assumed that those will be the 5 players. Those players will remain on a leave of absence until official charges are brought up on them by the London, Ontario police. Once that has happened, the NHL has already done their investigation into the matter. But the thing is, the NHL will not announce punishment or follow through on any punishments until that legal process has started. So these players probably not playing anymore this year. As far as their futures after that, that's probably going to depend on how severe these charges end up being. But it's going to be a long, drawn-out process, probably.
Woo, Devils, fuck you.
So, yeah.
All right. So on that note, as we end hockey there on that very positive
note.
upswing.
On that wah wah.
Oh man! All right, so let's get into some NBA stuff here. I don't know if it was, I don't remember if it was before the show or as the show started, but it seems as though we have gotten one trade per week. It was the Knicks a couple weeks ago, then it was the Pacers last week. Now the Miami Heat get into the action, and so Melo, let your Heat fandom take over here. What did you think about it? What do you think about what they gave up? Which Kyle Lowry that they've been trying to give up for like feels like 10 years.
I
They've
am
only had him for
ecstatic about this trade, boss. Ecstatic. Oh, I didn't want to begin with. I didn't want Kyle Lowry on my team. But you know,
I know.
they had to make a move for some reason. They paid this man. I'm just happy he's not on the team anymore. I think for what game it was, he just didn't do anything, and then was like, "Oh, like I can't wait to go back out there," or something like, "I want the offense to run through me," or some nonsense that he said.
What?
It was when they benched him. It was when they benched him. When they didn't start him, he said, "Oh, I can't wait to be back in the starting lineup."
Yeah, so it was silly. But I'm glad. I like Terry Rozier. I don't think he's a needle mover, but I think it is an upgrade to what we need at the point guard position. And I actually have some stats here for other Heat fans out there that earlier in the season wanted us to trade for someone else, and I got side by side comparisons of Terry Rozier and this other player's stats. So Terry Rozier averages 24 points per game. This other player is averaging 25. Rozier averages 6.7 assists per game. This other player averages 6.8. They both average 3 points. 3 points says it to me. 3 3-pointers made per game. Rozier shooting 46.1%. This other player is shooting 42.7 regular field goals, and from 3-point range, Rozier's averaging 38.3, and this other player is averaging 35.2. Who do you guys think this player is?
Former Portland Trailblazer Dame Lillard.
Yep, exactly. And it was that time. And we basically got Damian Lillard at this point, the way he's playing in Milwaukee. He got his coach fired, but no, you don't.
Coach fired.
It's never Damian Lillard's fault, though. Never. For some reason, he's never the problem, and I don't understand that. But yeah, I'm ecstatic about this pick. I don't think we gave up much. It was the 2027 first-round pick, Kyle Lowry, and that pick is protected and would convert to an unprotected pick in 2028 if it does not convey. So,
what you got on the trade?
So there's another stipulation on the pick. So the Heat owe the Oklahoma City Thunder their 2025 first-round pick. However, the 2025 first-round pick is lottery protected. So if for some reason the Heat missed the playoffs next year, the Thunder would not get their 2025 first. They would get their 2026 first, which automatically pushes this pick to the Hornets into 2028. So it will only be the 27 first if it is A, that the Thunder actually get the Heat pick in 2025, and B, if the Heat are make the playoffs that season and are not a lottery team. Otherwise, it'll be the 2028 pick unprotected. I agree with just about everything Melo said there. You got a player who's playing as good as Dame Lillard, arguably better than what Dame has played so far in Milwaukee. I'm not saying that I expect Terry Rozier to be Dame Lillard, but being that Terry Rozier actually plays defense, I love this. I am ecstatic about this move. The fact that they only gave up a conditional first-round pick to get him, I think, is amazing. The rumor is that the Hornets ownership loved him so much and he meant so much to that team that they wanted to make sure they did right by him and sent him where he wanted to go, which is hilarious based on how this summer played out with Damian Lillard.
Lillard, the exact opposite.
Well, especially when you look at everything that Portland got back in that deal. They got Robert Williams, who's not playing the rest of the season because of knee injuries for like the 5th time in his career. They have DeAndre Ayton, who talked about he doesn't have anything left to prove in this league because he's a max player. He's averaging like 12 and 8, max player, playing phenomenal. But this is what Portland decided to do. Jaime Jaquez, the current second by betting odds, the second favorite to win Rookie of the Year, Jaime Jaquez.
Behind who?
Was the player they offered. This guy that's 7'6" with a 12-foot wingspan who's 19 years old.
Fair. All right.
But yeah, so no, but Rozier's a perfect fit for this team. I disagree with the needle mover part. Melo said he doesn't think it's a needle mover. So this is the way I look at it. If you look at the team, I think it's a big needle mover considering what you're replacing. I mean, you're taking the 25 to 30 minutes that Kyle Lowry is playing and you're giving them to a player who can actually play and plays defense. Like, this is huge. So if you just want to look at it though from a standpoint of the roster they had last year that went to the finals. So they lose Max Strus. Essentially, they've replaced Max Strus minutes with Jaime Jaquez. They lose Gabe Vincent. Now they've replaced Gabe Vincent's minutes and Kyle Lowry's minutes with Terry Rozier.
Both of them are paying my ass. Both of them.
And they didn't have Tyler Hero last year, who is also playing very well. I think this is a huge upgrade offensively. The Heat, before this trade, were the only team in basketball with 3 players averaging over 20 points per game in Hero, Butler, and Adebayo. Now they are the only team in basketball with 4 players averaging over 20 points per game, adding Rozier to that list. So it's a phenomenal trade. They gave up barely anything. There was a lot of people saying that they should go after Dejounte Murray. I would probably argue Murray might have been a better fit from a basketball standpoint, but based on the rumored cost of Dejounte Murray compared to what they give up for Terry Rozier, I have no problem with this trade. I think it's fantastic.
Murray's one of those guys that Murray's one of those guys that they're saying is more likely to be moved over the summer than at the trade deadline. Now, obviously, we'll see.
Supposedly him going to the Lakers has legs, is what the report was today.
I feel like the Lakers every single year the Lakers maneuver some type of deal, and some years it's like 25 games too late.
Unless they're playing in a bubble.
Right. All right. So good transition here.
I was going to say, boss, did you hear what your boy Simmons said about the trade?
What did he say?
He seems a little concerned. He's your boy. You love Bill Simmons.
For what? I don't. He's a Boston guy. I don't love. I like his. I mostly listen to his football stuff with Cousin Sal, but what he's concerned about
he thinks the Celtics are the only. I mean, the Heat are the only team that worry him against the Celtics.
And now getting Rozier, he's even more terrified because he feels they gave up nothing to get him.
But can I also say that sometimes Bill Simmons is that fan that makes it like, oh no, this big bad beast is coming, and I want to feel like the underdog, even though I'm not the underdog.
He was right about it. He was right about it last year because he said it all year. He was terrified of the Heat, even though they looked terrible until the playoffs started. Yeah. He was so scared of the Heat, so scared. He had guests on his show making fun of him, and then we all know how that played out. So I mean,
that's right.
Kind of with warrant. I mean,
I do have what the Hawks were. Well, what they were supposedly asking for Murray. They're asking for 2 first-round picks and a starting level player for Murray. That was a lot. I'm happy with Rozier.
And so Terry Rozier has 2 more years after technically has 3 more years after this one on his deal. One of those years is non-guaranteed, which I don't know whatever happened with because the stipulations on that non-guaranteed year where it would become guaranteed if Rozier played 75 games or 70 games in any of the prior years of his contract, and the Hornets made the second round of the playoffs. So obviously with the trade, I assume the stipulations there is going to get changed, but I've heard no reporting as to what it's going to be changed to, or if the Heat just picked it up altogether, or I have no idea what that's going to look like. But I believe because Murray's contract, I want to say runs like an extra 2 years because I think I'm totally wrong. No, upcoming extension. So he has an extension he signed that hasn't kicked in yet. It was a 4-year, $114 million extension. The first year of that extension is next year. It'll pay him 25, 26, 75.
You said 4 years?
4 years. 24, 8, 26, 7, 8, 28, 7, 6, and then a player option in 27, 28 for 30, 31 million essentially. So it does have an
even more
year.
because of the control that you have over them.
Murray I think is also 2 years younger than Rozier. Yeah, Murray's currently 27, Rozier's 29, so he's 2 years younger. And obviously, like you just laid out, the control with the contract, but that seems like a really high asking price.
Yeah. So I think that's why I've been seeing, it's more likely over the summer, but we'll see. Obviously, the more trades, the better for us, better for the show. Now, the Heat get better, the Knicks get better, the Pacers get better. The Bucks, who are sitting at 20 games or so over 500, fire their head coach. Right? The 2 seed, right?
Yeah,
Fire their head coach. And then within 24 hours, they bring in Doc Rivers. And just my thoughts on this real quick. Great. I mean, the great coaches with the great teams have great regular season records, right? Doc Rivers, yeah, obviously he won the title with Timmy's Celtics. I almost said the city name, but I know Timmy's rules. It's just the team name. But overall, he's just like 5 or 6 games over 500 in the playoffs. He's this great head coach, but he's also lost 2 3-1 leads in his 3-1 leads in his career.
Only coach ever.
And right, and so my thing is, did the Bucks just like panic and be like, "Holy shit, we got to do something"? They don't play any defense. They're not getting exactly what they thought they were going to get from Dame time, right? And so now it feels like they're like, all right, we got to hire somebody. The best thing out of all this is that Doc Rivers is not on the ESPN commentators. That's
100%.
Can we bring back Van Gundy, bro?
And I don't
Bring
have
back
to see Bill
Gundy,
Simmons
please.
episodes
Jeff
anymore.
back.
However, that pain in the ass, Doris Burke, is still there. So you got Doris Burke and Mike Breen doing the game tonight.
Bang.
So she's not a pain in the ass. It's the voice that annoys. Everything about her annoys me. All right, let me get that out there. All right, so all right, so that's my thought on it. Melo, you think any different?
I just think it's insane. It feels like what the Cavaliers did back when they won the championship, that they fired Blatt like right in the middle of the season. They were in first place, or I think towards the beginning, like almost towards the middle. And they hired
They had
Ty
a
Lue.
rockier start though.
Yeah. So but at that point they were still in first place, and well, they ended up winning the championship. So I don't know if the Bucks are trying to do that. I don't know if they've seen Doc Rivers' record, and they just looked at, oh yeah, he has a championship. But I mean, hey, better for us.
What's
If
that? He won a title 15 years ago, and is overall a 500 coach or so. It's like 5 games over or something like that.
111 and 104 is his playoff record. He's coached in 215 playoff games. He's only been to 2 finals, which I thought was absurd.
Only made it out of the second round twice.
The 2 years they went to the finals. Yeah.
Right.
So if he gets past the second round, he's going to the finals, apparently.
Good luck.
Right. Yeah, it's like automatic. Like it used to be with the Marlins with the wild card.
I don't think that any team in the East saw this move and was like, dang. Every team in the East is like, oh, thank God.
Yep.
Oh, the Bucks. We don't have to worry about them anymore. Like, I mean, legit, I don't think everyone probably jumping for joy when they saw this move. I mean, that's my opinion. I've never been a Doc Rivers fan. This is a coach who was barely above 500 before he got the big 3 in Boston. I think he was below 500 as a coach before he got the big 3 in Boston. And then, obviously they go on and have a couple of 60-win seasons, win an NBA title. And then once the big 3 fizzles out, he goes on to the Clippers, where they have a new big 3 with Blake and CP3 and those guys over there. And that team, in my opinion, always underperformed, especially with the talent they had on some of those rosters. I mean, there was a stretch there where you could have probably convinced me that Blake Griffin was one of the 2 or 3 best players in the league, and I wouldn't have questioned you. And that team wasn't making it out of the second round. And that's when Chris Paul was still at the peak of his powers too. So I think it's I've never understood the Doc Rivers.
That Clippers run with him is a disaster. And wasn't he named like back whatever few years back one of the top 15 coaches of all time.
I think so.
Yep.
That's rough, guys.
Laughed at it when they said that too.
Yeah.
Here.
All right.
His win-loss record the 2 years prior to the Big Three coming to Boston: 33-49 in 05-06 and 24-58 in 06-07. Kept the job though, and then obviously they go 66-16 when they bring in when they put together 2.5 Hall of Famers in Boston for him. Sorry, Tim, but Paul Pierce ain't a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry.
All right, so it'll be interesting to see because now Bucks they don't have too much room to maneuver because the big thing is that they don't play defense. So how does Doc Rivers coerce these guys to play defense? And like I said, these other teams they all three of those Knicks, Heat, Pacers all got better with the trades that they made in the last 3 weeks. So still 2 weeks to go, but we'll see. One more thing on basketball. Melo, maybe you have something else, but this is something that happened a few weeks ago that I just want to, as a Knicks fan, applaud the Miami Heat organization for what they did for Eric Spoelstra. Timmy, I don't know if you heard about it. So what they did was Eric Spoelstra, famously going through a divorce. Divorce gets finalized. A little bit of time kind of goes by, and then the Miami Heat. Yeah. That's what that's the joke. I wanted to make it like it was like boom. Couple days pass, and here come the Miami Heat with like the richest contract ever in a billion years or whatever. Right after, so she doesn't get any piece of that. Well done, Miami Heat.
Heat culture, baby.
but she's still gonna get. Doesn't she get like alimony?
Yeah, but that's not. Had he gotten that contract before, she would have been
much.
entitled to some of it.
Yeah.
She could have gotten more, but because she didn't, or because they didn't announce it until after, she's not going to be able to touch most of that money. Which also, by the way, she is a former Heat dancer. That's how they met, in case anyone was wondering.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Well done.
Anyway,
I'm sure that's not a conflict of interest at work.
Not at all. There was no fishiness going on there.
He wasn't doing her evaluation.
What's funny is I think
he was good with video equipment, is what I remember.
I'm sure he was.
Oh man, he worked in the scouting department, so
yeah, I bet
he knew talent when he saw it.
There you go.
All right, I guess, Melo, did you have one more thing?
I do. So Rozier did play today for the Heat. They played the Grizzlies. They did lose that game. Just went final 105-96. Rozier finished. He didn't start, but he did play 29 minutes. Went 3 for 11, 9 points, 3 steals, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. It's going to be a little bit different now, I guess, because Tyler Hero can't be jacking up 50 shots a game anymore.
I think it was Zach Lowe, and I hate listening to him, but he did say something today that I actually agreed with wholeheartedly. Tyler Hero needs to start playing like Klay Thompson. And what I mean by that is, no, I don't think Tyler Hero is Klay Thompson. What I mean by that is Tyler Hero needs to go and just be constantly running around the floor looking to get an open shot. No more of this ball handling Tyler Hero nonsense. And I'm not saying he's a bad ball handler, but with the way this team is set up now, with Bam, with Jimmy, with Jaime, who can handle the ball, and now with Terry, Tyler Hero should not be handling the ball. He should be running around, coming off screens, flying all over the court, looking for open shots the way Klay does. And then, run him on some plays where instead
of like a white guy in the 90s.
Yeah, he's playing like Reggie Miller. That's all Reggie Miller used to do. Reggie Miller used to run 38 miles a game. Touch the ball 6 times, but
push people to the ground with no foul call,
I mean, hopefully that if they do switch him to that, hopefully he can stay healthy and not, just play 2 games and then hurt his pinky toe.
No, speaking of pinky, that's why Kyle Irving didn't play tonight. Hurt his thumb. Kyrie. I was looking for the usually when we're on, there's a massive blowout going on. Some teams winning by 60, but we didn't get that tonight. No,
but we got Detroit winning.
Get Detroit.
Detroit won.
Oh shit!
They beat the Hornets.
Wow.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Did Kyle Lowry play? Did he make his Hornets debut?
Oh man, that's the worst part. You go to a 10-32 team.
No. Here's the worst part.
He didn't.
Because of the new CBA rules, even if they buy him out, all of the teams that are in the tax can't sign him on the buyout market because his current contract that's being bought out is higher than a mid-level exception. So he can't even go to like he can't go to the Suns. He can't
he's
go
done.
to the Bucks.
It's over.
The Sun.
His options are limited. You guys can
Very
sign him.
limited. Like
You guys can sign him. He can go to the Knicks. You guys aren't in the apron.
no,
I'm just saying.
This is the
you
new
need a
Knicks.
backup.
I'm just saying. No, this is the new Knicks that we make smart decisions now. You've seen this. This is transforming in front of our eyes. The Knicks over the last several years. This is don't even get
You guys need a backup for Brunson. I think Kyle Lowry will
Stop
fit
it.
up there perfectly.
Oh my God.
Timpson doesn't need a backup, buddy.
He seems
doesn't
like a guy who likes wearing Timbs, so he fits perfect in New York.
All right. Let's get to football. We do have some baseball to talk about, but we'll save that to the end. But let's get to some football action.
Stay around to listen.
Come on.
Can't tease that now.
That's
All
not
right,
what you tease.
Big news of the last few hours is that Mr. Harbaugh headed to Los Angeles to coach the
San Diego.
Chargers.
You said it right the first time.
San Diego, coaching the Chargers. So this was just made official here. Just in the last few hours, this is Anthony. I think you said it best in the chat. This is a winner going to a loser. Something's got to give. But on this one, let's start off with Timmy. Your thoughts on this? He heads from Michigan, where he clearly had some success, and now goes to the Chargers, who we've been making fun of since we've been on this network
for as long as I
always
can
finding
remember.
ways to lose. So, Timmy, what are your thoughts on this hire for these guys?
First of all, I don't like the Harbaugh brothers. I don't think I've ever said that on the show before.
I
don't like them. Never did. Never
you
will.
did.
Is there a reason
Anyway,
for it?
I just don't like them. I don't like their faces. I want to smack them in the face when I
So
see
you
them.
don't like the dad either, because the dad looks just like Jim.
Yeah, I want to smack all three of them right in a row.
Spitting in
Just like line them up like the fucking Three Stooges and just smack them in a row. But with that being said, yes, they're both great coaches. Is this going to make a difference? Absolutely. But this is a Charger team. I said, are they going to blow them up? Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Eckler, all guys who might not be there next year. Herbert hopefully gets traded to a certain blue team that I'd like to see. Of course, it's not going to happen, but I'm just going to wishful thinking. But I mean, I'm dying to see what they're going to do now that he's there. Maybe Eckler wants to stay now. Maybe Williams, Keenan, who knows? Maybe they're all like, holy shit, we got a real coach. Now we have a shot. But other than that, I mean, I've been saying they're going to build this team up all year. So I don't know what's going to happen. But is he a winner? I'm sure. Can he turn this? If he can turn the LA, San Diego, Oklahoma City Chargers around, whatever the hell they're going to be, then he's going to be one of the best coaches of all time, because it's just an organization that's just a bunch of losers, man. It's that mentality.
Got just reminded me of that promo that R-Truth did when with the Royal Rumble a long time ago. He's when he was that whatever champion, 995 South,
the 24/7,
whatever.
Yeah.
995 South,
95
7-Eleven,
7-Eleven champion.
European.
I see it all the time on TikTok. He's in the ring and he's saying, "You might be a big guy, but you'll go over the top rope, Paul Heyman." And he's like, "I'm not in the Royal Rumble." And Brock is like hysterical.
Guess what, Steve? He's on fire again right now.
Yeah,
R-Truth.
Yeah. The way he gets people to break is hilarious.
It's great.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Because the best thing is he thinks he's part of the Judgment Day, but he's not. But he says he is. but he calls Dominic Mysterio Tom and Nick. He goes, "Yeah, those twins. Those twins are like, what are you talking about? What twins?" He goes, "Tom and Nick Mysterio, man. Tom and Nick. I always see Tom, but I never see Nick before. But I know he's around somewhere." Fucking great.
So good.
Now every sign in the arena says Tom and Nick Mysterio. It's fantastic.
It's so good.
That is hilarious.
He's on fire again. So who would have thought? But yeah, as far as this goes, Of course, he can make a difference. He is a great coach, no matter how much I want to punch him in the face. But like I said, this is a team that's about to get blown up. So let's just see what's going to happen.
All right, Melo, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's good. Again, I like Harbaugh. I think he's a good coach. Whether he spies on his opponents or not, that's okay in the NFL.
As made popular by Bill Belichick.
Exactly.
Still looking
I think
for work,
now,
by the way.
this just makes me sad that I don't think we're gonna get Herbert. I think Herbert stays there and Harbaugh makes him good or put some good pieces around him.
Or puts him in positions to make, for the offense to make those
Takes him
moves
out of
necessary
those
to win
losing
those
game
3-point games.
situations.
Right? Those 2-minute, 4-minute drills. That's where they suffer. They break down.
Harbaugh is in
lose by
calling a
2, too.
timeout in a tie game against the Raiders, where with the tie they could make the playoffs. He ain't calling a timeout
God.
there.
Stupid. And what you got on this one?
So Jim Harbaugh's winning percentages as a head coach. So starts out at San Diego, not with the Chargers, I think it was San Diego State University or wherever, community college, whatever. He had an 82.9% win percentage. Parlays that into the Stanford job. He then has a 72.5 win percentage at Stanford. Parlays that into a job with the Niners head coach. With San Francisco, he had a 69% win percentage, the lowest of his 4 stops as a head coach. And then, of course, after he left San Francisco, goes back to his alma mater, Michigan, where he has a 77.5% win percentage, and obviously wins the national title with Michigan. I, like Tim, completely despise Jim Harbaugh, not John. I don't have a problem with John, but Jim Harbaugh, I cannot stand him. I'd say all that. He is a great coach. I'm not downplaying that. I'm not saying he isn't. And I think he's going to do wonders for this Chargers team. I say all that with the prefaces, and I think the 3 of us mentioned it a little bit before we went on the air. I think they're going to blow it up this year. I'm thinking even bigger than what Tim's alluding to. I think they're blowing it all the way down to the studs. They have the 5th overall pick. I think they trade the pick too and move down and pick up just a bunch of extra picks. I think that they just use this year as their redshirt year for Harbaugh Herbert. They get to know each other. They figure out how they want to do things. And then 2025 with $130 million in cap space and multiple first-round picks, and the Chargers come back like gangbusters. Will they win in San Diego? I don't know the answer to that, and I will still say San Diego. I know they play in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win in San Diego.
You never know. They might go back now that they got Harbaugh. Now it's time to go back.
Like he had success in San Diego.
Welcome back.
Will they win? I don't know. I have complete confidence, though, that Harbaugh is the absolute right coach to get Herbert out of whatever this funk he's been in here this last season and a half or so.
Just get him out.
I will say this. So the chances of them trading him
damn
this year,
Giants fans, man.
No, listen, because it's not all doom and gloom. This year, there's a 0% chance they trade him, and even next year, it's a very slim chance. I will say this though: if Harbaugh gets in there, and Harbaugh feels that Herbert is not the guy that he thought he was, Harbaugh will trade him, and I don't think Harbaugh will wait to make that move. So while I like I said, I think there's a 0% chance that happens this offseason. I will say, depending on how this season goes, it would not completely shock me if maybe that relationship doesn't work out, and next offseason, maybe there's something there. But
Well,
yeah,
look,
look at Alex Smith.
He has a front row seat to all these college players the last couple of years, inside info. Maybe he thinks his quarterback's in that first round where, a number 6 pick would do very nicely. So you never know. By the way, I'm going to make a slight prediction that a certain former New York Giants running back is on his way to that very team.
Can you not?
Saquon?
Yep.
Interesting.
Wait, he's not former yet.
Rashard Penny.
They're not re-signing him. They're not re-signing him.
They're not. They're not.
But it's
very
not
clear
former
about-
yet.
They paid this bum
I was thinking like
so much money. They owe
older guys.
Saquon.
They're not paying him.
They need to pay
Nope.
him. Franchise tag him.
They're not going to do that either.
They need to. But hey, you know what, Jim Harbaugh? Come here, Jim Harbaugh. You might not like Herbert. You know, he's not that good anyway. But there's a quarterback in New York or in New Jersey that you can always trade him for. That right now he's on the fence. Why don't you make him good? Prove that
Do it.
you can make a quarterback good. Do it. Get half a cent out of New York and take him to sunny San Diego.
We could do this without the name calling, Dave.
Never.
Especially the Jersey part. Why don't you just be quiet about that?
Shut your mouth, man. All right. So we'll see obviously what goes on there. Let's get into some.
Do we think that Atlanta blew this thing with Belichick? 2 interviews and still nothing.
It depends on what you think of them actually hiring him.
That's kind of where I want. That's kind of where I wanted to move to after Harbaugh. So Belichick now he's had 2 interviews with Atlanta. Supposedly going to meet with the owner. Nobody else wants him. Like a lot of people thought that how major free agents in baseball, pitchers, and the first pitcher signs, and then it's a domino effect. Usually, this year is jacked up, but there's a domino effect. So a lot of people thought Belichick was going to be that first domino, but it's been Atlanta, which makes no sense. We talked about this a few weeks back that the San Diego job made the most sense for him, and how he was going to have this beautiful bright smile, suntan, great guy down there in San Diego, but that's not happening. And now he's going to be in a dome in Atlanta. Same old frowny guy. No reason to wear a hoodie.
True.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, all the reports out of Atlanta are that Arthur Blank, owner, wants to hire him, but the general manager and the rest of the staff and the front office people are all like, "No, don't bring him in here. We don't want him."
I think he wants control. Probably he wants control.
Yes,
but
there's no way I would give that to him.
Shiitake in how long? Like,
wait,
what is he going to do there?
Working.
Wait, what did you say?
Shiitake.
They haven't done shiitake. Yeah, like them. I didn't want to say shit.
Oh.
And now I said
it is.
I got 2 F-bombs already, and you didn't want him to say shit. You said shiitake, and my brain just like spinning. I was like, "What does he mean? Is this code for
is
something?"
This Aaron Rodgers?
Did I miss the pre-show? What's going on?
Well, you made me say it regardless.
I don't get. We talked about that. The only places that made sense were those openings with a good quarterback.
I have one opening for him. Defensive coordinator of a certain blue team from
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
I don't think he would.
Wink might go to the Miami. I heard.
No, he has not been named. The current hot name is. I just made that up. Yes. Along on Dolphins Twitter.
Fuck Wink.
Which hilarious to me. This is some of the reasons I can't fucking stand Dolphins fans. Dolphins Twitter raving about this guy all season. The second they fire him, thank God they got rid of him. He was a bum. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We were missing like half of our defensive starters for most of the season, and our defense still ranked like top 10 in every category. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? He was.
I'm gonna have to follow Dolphins Twitter just because you always make it sound.
It is a fucking delusional shit show. It is horrible. Tim, I swear on everything holy, if I open Twitter one more time and have to read a fucking Tua compared to Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and all these quarterbacks one more time, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Why
listen, okay, hang on. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go into a fucking rant today about this.
Yeah, but make
He's
that
Ryan
a segment to the
Tannehill.
show.
He's Ryan Tannehill. Tua is Ryan. They're the same person. They're the same fucking person. The only difference is Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill. That's the difference. Go look at the stats. He's a less mobile Ryan Tannehill.
So Tua is identical. Is Hawaiian for Ryan Tannehill, basically.
He's not Hawaiian.
Whatever he is, Samoan.
You could make a
I
very.
don't care what he is.
You could make a strong case even that Ryan Tannehill with with prime Ryan Tannehill, because Ryan Tannehill's a little bit older now. He's not the same as he was years ago. But a prime Ryan Tannehill in this offense with these weapons would be better than what we've gotten from Tua. And I'm not even like, I wish I was kidding when I said that. Like, I'm not though. Like, dude, I was looking at the stats today. I was looking at the stats today, and it slapped me in the face like as hard as it could. And I'm like, I was like, holy shit. Like, these numbers look just like Tannehill numbers. So I had to go back and I started looking at Tannehill numbers, and it's fucking scary, dude. They're the same. There's no difference. There's no difference. He's Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill's biggest thing, from what I remember, was he was always overthrowing or underthrowing the guy. If you were put Tyreek Hill there for him, you can't really overthrow him or underthrow him. He's gonna go out and grab that ball. So I think, yeah, you're right. I think it would have been better.
He seemed to do just fine with AJ Brown. So part of me wonders if the under and overthrowing had to do with the shitty ass receivers he had to throw to in all those years in Miami.
That probably had a lot to do with it, I think.
I don't
Some really bad receivers he was throwing the ball to.
I'm about to follow Dolphin Twitter right now.
Dolphin Twitter, get on there.
Oh my god, dude. I'll start sharing some of the delusional nonsense that gets posted. I'll start sending.
I think what Timmy said is good. Like, put a segment, Dolphins Twitter, and then just start reading off. All right, today Tua's being compared to
on a scale of 1 to.
I'm going to be the most hated.
We'll
person
do on a
on
scale
Dolphins
of 1
Twitter,
to 5
and I'm a Dolphins
toasters.
fan.
1 to 5 toasters. How bad is this comment?
All
right, let's get into the.
If it's really bad, we get the tabletop oven out and we get that going.
The air fryer, just dump that motherfucker.
The air fryer's going too. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So the divisional round, we had Texans Ravens to kick us off. That went as expected. CJ Stroud, excellent year, phenomenal year. The Texans, who thought that they would be even sniff getting anywhere close to the playoffs? And they wound up doing some damage. And they got I'm very jealous of the Texans for CJ Stroud. They have a really bright future ahead of them. But they did lose, obviously, to the Ravens, who are moving on. But I think the bigger story here, not that the Ravens are moving on, but that the Texans had such a great season.
Absolutely. No, none of us picked them to even make the playoffs, right? No. Like any of us even came close.
Like 4 wins. What was their over under? Probably like 5 wins.
It was 4.5, 5.5.
I think they were at plus 20,000 to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season.
They weren't the lowest, but they were down there. I think the Cardinals were the lowest when the season opened. They were plus 30-something thousand to win.
Insane.
But yeah, CJ Stroud, man, he's legit. I can't wait till the season's over. We can do our QB charts. I want to see how high he ends up.
You got Nico Collins out there. Like, this is a
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell. I like him a lot.
Their offensive line's actually
came
good.
alive for them this year. Singletary played well over. Better than he ever did with Buffalo.
Right?
The craziest thing about this season for me with them is that Bobby Slowick, their offensive coordinator, a lot of people pegged him as like, oh, he's going to get a head coaching job now because of this great turnaround season in Houston. It actually seems like he's not going to get a head coaching job, which means good for them. They're going to get to keep him an extra year, and he's going to be their OC again next year. And they have a ton of cap space. They don't have their own first round pick, but that trade ended up not looking as bad as I thought it was going to when they traded up to get Will Anderson also. And Will Anderson looked really good too. I don't know. I still think the trade is somewhat questionable, but it doesn't matter. Like, you got Stroud, so a trade like that doesn't even hurt you. Like, it's like no one's gonna look back and be like, but they traded an extra first for Will Anderson. No one cares. They got CJ Stroud. They're fine. No one cares.
He's got a cannon. He can run. He's smart as shit. Makes great decisions, in my opinion.
Oh my god, his pocket awareness is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right. So you got that, and rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, making it all the way here is pretty damn impressive.
Think about that. They had back-to-back one-and-done coaches before they bring in D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud, and now they look like they're on the verge of something 10, 15 years running. Like, they're going to be great for the next 10 plus years.
Think about this. When they fired, who was the last guy?
Lovie Smith.
So they fired him, and like that became the black coach hell. Nobody, no black coach wanted really to go there. D'Amico Ryan does, and now black hole, son.
D'Amico turned down other jobs to go there too. It wasn't like D'Amico like was the last man standing for Houston. No, he wanted to go to Houston. He turned down other jobs.
That's why that what was so wild about it. Like it was like nobody wanted to, and he did. So, and then he gets CJ Stroud. Congratulations.
I think what's wilder though about that is that remember before Lovie Smith got fired last year, he went out and won that last game, and it took him all the way down to number 3, where they could have had like 1,
2.
And everyone
down to 2.
2. So everyone made a huge big deal about it, like, oh, they probably could have got Young, all this other stuff, but look, it worked out for them. They got Stroud, and that's their guy.
It's Lovie Smith secretly doing the Lord's work for the Bears and Texans organizations, and no one even realized it. The Bears got all those fucking picks. They completely reshaped their franchise with that getting that pick because the Texans won that last game, and the Texans pick second and don't have to think about Bryce Young because CJ Stroud's sitting there in their lap, and that ends up being the guy. And look at him, like, oh my god, that, crazy.
And he got so much flack about it.
Oh yeah. He's going to be in their Ring of Honor one day when CJ Stroud wins the Super Bowl in Houston. Lovie Smith's going to go in the Ring of Honor. The 1-year defensive coordinator, 1-year head coach for the Texans, Lovie Smith, the Ring of Honor. The man who brought CJ to Houston.
He'll open the pearly gates to CJ Stroud. All right. Next up, Packers 49ers. Again, we all picked the 49ers here. Really no surprise, right, Melo?
Absolutely not. Great, game-winning drive there by Brock.
Christian McCaffrey, he looked great.
Purdy, doing great, doing exactly what he had to do to win the game. And that's what you want in your quarterback.
Sucking for 3.5 quarters and then going on a game-winning drive.
Yeah, how many times did Eli Manning do that?
The game-winning drive.
Whoa!
The game-winning drive where Christian McCaffrey did the heavy lifting. Yeah, it was great.
Okay, so all right, so 49ers win the game, but Timmy, Debo goes down. Debo's now 50-50 this weekend. So did
He'll play.
They won the game, but
he'll play.
They lose the war.
It's the NFC Championship. He's playing. I don't care what anybody says. Don't give me that bullshit 50-50.
He missed practice again today. Like there's serious.
He should sit. He should sit the whole week.
He should definitely not practice. Like practice should not.
Definitely not practice. No, he's gonna play. He's got to play. Listen, I understand you're hurt, but come on, it's the NFC Championship game. You got to
stick a few needles in there.
Yeah.
After what happened last year, where you had no quarterback going into the goddamn Super Bowl, he breaks the arm in the Super. Come on, you got to get back there. They got to do whatever it takes to get back in. So, he's gonna play. And I congratulations to the Packers. I put my Chiefs head away, but they're another one. Who knew that they got such a great future ahead of them? Who knew? But of course, like we said, they breed quarterbacks in Green Bay for some reason. And they got the formula. The formula is you draft a quarterback, you make him sit for 5 years behind a Hall of Famer, and then you let him loose on the world, and all of a sudden he's a goddamn great quarterback. But they should draft their next quarterback this year and have him ready.
And then send him to the Jets.
Well, yeah, I was more impressed. Honestly, I was more impressed with the Packers Sunday than I was with the Niners because it took the Niners, that last drive and to win it. But it was good. It's how we all thought it was going to end up.
Ant, what you got on these Niners?
I am.
Your boy Nick.
I think
Nick
there's
Bosa
some
and them boys.
serious concern, and I'm going to point to Kyle Shanahan on this. This man, if you look at his play calling, look at the end of the first half. 4 minutes to go in the game. 4 minutes to go in the half. Excuse me. And they run 3 plays before the 2-minute warning from 4:30 something left on the game clock. They run 3 offensive plays. This man, he is showing you the stuff that he showed you at the end of the Jimmy G run. He has lost confidence in his quarterback, and we know how this story goes. Watch. I'm not even gonna say nothing. Just watch. We've seen this movie before. We know how this plays out. I will say this though, defensively, this was a team that through the first 12 weeks of the season was getting to a quarterback are getting to the quarterback at a faster, or like the second or third fastest rate in all of football. Their pressure rates have dropped dramatically here over the back half of the season. They did not look like they could get to Jordan Love last week. And when they did seem to get near him, Jordan Love had all the answers to get out of it there until the end of the game, obviously. I think there's some real concerns. And, this is the matchup I told you guys was going to be the NFC title game before it happened. I said it. Wild card weekend. I said it, what this was going to be. It's going to be a good game. Well, I won't dive any further.
We'll
but there's some concerns though with he's clearly lost some confidence in Brock. And I think if Debo doesn't play, I think they're in real trouble. Real trouble. Because aside from one big McCaffrey run, McCaffrey wasn't really having a great game. He had a 40-yard touchdown run, and that was, for a large part of the game, was most of his production.
All right, so 2-0 so far, all of us. We head in the next game. Bucks at the Lions. I'm looking at you, Melo, in your Bananas jersey. Bucks take the Bucks take the L.
Where's my troll music? Because it's coming.
Bucks take the L in Detroit. My question to you is, Melo, knowing you as well as I do, how long have we known each other now? 10 years?
2011 I started. So 12, about going to go on.
That long ago? 12?
Well, I guess. Well, I started with you with
it's
the
over
site
10
that should
years.
not be named in 2011, and then
the decade of the friendship, man. Decade. All right.
Yep.
So knowing you so well, a decade of friendship, but I only have a picture of Timmy in my man cave.
You have a picture of Timmy in your man cave?
Can you have the picture when we went over your house
real quick?
Wait, I'm not sure if it's here. Oh, yeah, hold on. I don't think it is, though. I think it's actually over there somewhere. So the story of that is that when we first started off, Timmy would call into our show, and so it would be a call in, and it was just very early days of us doing video stuff. So we would have Timmy's picture right behind us. So if he called into the Put in the Book show, whether it be as himself or Michael Jackson, we had there, and especially for We Stomped You Out, we had him. He had I have the picture with the Giants beanie on, sat right behind us. Solidarity. So there's I have a picture
That's
of
how
Tim Tabella.
That's how I started, by the way, as Michael Jackson. Just so you know.
So Michael Jackson's a Mets fan?
No, he said they were all ignorant, and he said,
all right, let's reel it back in. All right, Melo. Who not named Baker Mayfield do you want to blame for this loss?
I mean, there's a certain receiver on this team who's a number one that
don't do that.
Clearly, has had too much popcorn before the game. Replace his gloves with bricks because
who are we talking about?
Mike Evans.
He's talking Mike Evans.
He still had a good game, but he still dropped some passes. He still dropped some passes that were clear, and they would have had a first down and probably gone on to scored. Obviously, Baker's going to get all the slack here, even though the man threw for 349 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Led the weekend in passing yards.
I'm not to interrupt you, but I don't blame him at all. I think he had a phenomenal game. I don't blame Baker at all. You know who I blame?
I don't
know.
You
know who I blame?
Todd Bowles.
Todd goddamn Bowles.
What does Todd Bowles say to fire up the team? Yeah, we're gonna do great.
All right, guys, let's go win the game. Come on now.
Yay, we gotta score points.
Do your best, guys. Do your best. Do your best.
Do
your best.
Listen, honestly, like Baker Mayfield probably locks Todd Bowles in his office, puts a chair up against the door so he can rile up the team. Todd Bowles.
I think Baker definitely has earned this job.
No, I agree.
I think they should pay him and maybe go head coaching wise somewhere else. But Baker
Bill Belichick
should be up there. Should be nominated for Comeback Player of the Year.
I don't even debate that.
DeMar Hamlin won that on the fake punt. Are you kidding me?
We haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten there yet, Steve.
Yeah, I kid.
Save it for the Bills game.
Sorry. Got ahead of myself there. All right.
But the NFL, you know what the NFL wanted. You know, they wanted the Lions in the conference championship. That's what it is.
Good Lord.
Hey, listen, if the NFL wanted it so bad, you better pick the Lions to win this game then, because they're not going to stop at the NFC title game.
Spoiler.
Getting ahead of ourselves.
I know.
Just saying.
If the NFL wants it, it's going to be Eminem versus Taylor Swift. That's exactly what it's going to be.
Perfect. They're going to replace Usher, and they're going to have Eminem and Taylor Swift
a battle
on
right in the
stages for the halftime show.
A rap battle.
That would actually be pretty damn cool.
Two of the greatest lyricists of our time.
I'd rather that than Usher any day of the week.
T Swizzle can bring it. T Swizzle can bring it. She can bring the pain.
I'd watch every second of the halftime show.
So would I.
Wait, I feel like we're disrespecting Melo's Baker game here. We start talking with Taylor Swift, Eminem. We're just
I
agree.
About Baker.
I agree. I agree 100%. Baker earned that job. He had a phenomenal, playoff games. He was great. It wasn't his fault. This coach sucks balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they also got beat by the better team. I think.
That's what I was going to go
train was coming through.
I don't think you can really put blame on anyone on the Bucs for that loss. I think that they played well. Baker played great. I earned the job is an understatement. I think he earned the job a month and a half ago. I think everything he's done since then has just been icing on the cake. I know they got a little sloppy there late in the season, but if you really want to get technical, the roster that is on that roster is not that good. Like, it's not like a terrible roster, but it's not a roster that was within 8 points of being in an NFC title game. Or at least in my opinion, it's not. As far as the blaming Mike Evans, I think that's insane. Mike Evans was their only good receiver on Sunday, and I don't even think that was close. The stuff they need to bring him back too. He's still incredible.
Doc Rivers is the greatest coach in the history of man. Shut up.
The Eastern Conference is ecstatic that he got another job opportunity.
I'm
not a great commentator.
But no, Baker was great. I don't think you can blame anyone on the team for the loss. Like, they just ran into a better team. Like, Goff was humming all game. Like, he looked great. He's completing like 78% of his passes in the postseason so far. He's been phenomenal. I know Melo doesn't want to hear any of this, but this is not the same Jared Goff that
to the non-pro bowler, but all-pro receiver.
Can't wait for him to come back down to earth this Sunday,
holding the Super Bowl trophy.
But Melo, come on! At this point, what's coming back down to earth? They're going to the NFC Championship game.
He's done this before. He's done this before and then gone out there and not shown up.
But Baker never has.
What do you mean
Baker's never been to an NFC title game?
No.
Well,
never.
He also played in the AFC for how long?
He's never been to an AFC title game either.
He was close. I think it was just as close as this one. And he also went up against the Chiefs,
Still didn't get there.
The really good Chiefs.
The really good Chiefs, yes.
And didn't lose by a lot, but kind of like this game here. Loss is a loss. So we'll see what they decide to do coaching wise, because that's not the answer, guys. That's not the answer. It's the answer, I guess, if you have Tom Brady. It maybe sometimes.
Yeah, because then the coach just stands there.
Yeah.
And Bowles wasn't even the coach when they won. It was fucking Arians.
I know, he was there,
and he didn't coach either.
He just yelled a lot and had high blood pressure.
No,
like, Tom, what do you want to do?
Bruce Arians will tell you I didn't do shit.
Just do it, Tom. Tom, what do you want to do?
Tom,
just fucking do it. I don't care. Do whatever you want.
It's like when they were trying to get when Tom wanted to get Gronk his incentives. He's like, yeah, no, come out there. We're gonna throw it right back to Gronk. Like, Arians wasn't calling that play. He doesn't
No.
probably even know that he was going to get.
Tom's calling that play in the huddle. 100%. 100%.
What play?
Tom hit the switch. He turned the mic off.
Yeah. He's talking to his wife on the phone. Hey, what are we gonna have for dinner tonight? All right, that sounds good. All right, what happened? Oh yeah, Gronk just made $1 billion. All right, cool. Next play.
Bruce is like, I'm not paying it. I don't care.
You see that the trend that they're doing, Gronk and is it Edelman? They you know how on TikTok they do like that trend where you're like walking by and you're like, I'm a millennial give a truth about. So with them, it's I'm a retired athlete. Of course, I'll get injured playing pickleball. That kind of thing. Of course, I'll say I'll still got it. All right. Moving right along to the game of the week, the game that we were all looking forward to. Chiefs, Bills, up in Buffalo. Speaking of high-end receivers that drop passes, Stephon Diggs dropped a huge, massive pass, and 3 catches. What was it? 3 catches for 40, 50 yards or something like that from Stephon Diggs.
It wasn't a lot.
You make that catch, you probably win the game. And then the balls on this guy. I have Stephon Diggs on one of my fantasy teams. I like Stephon Diggs, but he doesn't even like to feed into this whole, Stephon Diggs doesn't want to be a Buffalo Bill anymore narrative. He just walks out, doesn't speak to the media, doesn't do any of that stuff. So you drop a huge pass. Allen threw the shit out of that ball. Like that was there, like 95 yards downfield, and just kind of right through his hands. Mahomes does what he did. Kelsey out there acting like the Kelsey of a few years ago, and Jason Kelsey comes out of that.
was a real star of the show.
He's a real star, baby. He could come out there, no shirt on, throwing back a Bud Light, Miller Light, whatever he was drinking, and just in the right in front of Taylor Swift. Melo, I feel like you respect that a lot.
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Went out there with the Bills fans and just apparently he said people were cheering, some were booing. It's crazy. He apparently loves Bills Mafia. He was talking all about it in the podcast. He's like, man, I really want to go out there and party. And he said the reason that he didn't get to take off his shirt because he wanted to do it in the tailgate, but he got there a little late or something like that, so he didn't get a chance to take off his shirt. But he said that as soon as he saw the box and he could hop out, he's like, oh yeah, I'm hopping out and I'm taking off my shirt as soon as I get in the box.
That's great.
And this was the first time apparently he was going to meet Taylor Swift. So his wife was like,
wait,
you
what?
better not, Jay. Yeah, apparently this was the first time they were going to meet.
That's what he said on the show.
Yeah, so he's like,
don't embarrass me in front of Tay-Tay.
Yeah, exactly. His wife was like, you better not. This is the first time we're going to meet her. He's like, come on, I got drunk the first time we met. I got blackout drunk and fell asleep at the bar the first time we met. This is me. I'm going to do this. It's part of the appeal. Absolutely loved it.
Wait, but but there's a picture of as he's leaping out of the window, there's a picture of the wife smiling like from ear to ear in the background.
That was not a happy smile though. If you look
look
close, that is clearly
like holy shit.
What clearly it's one of those smiles where as a husband, if you see it, you're like, oh.
We've all seen that smile. We've all seen that smile before. Maybe not Mel, you're not married, but we've all seen that smile before. It's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you when we get home.
Exactly.
I haven't heard the show this week, but I saw the preview for it, and it was Travis Kelce saying, "Bro, we got to talk about this," and he's like, "What do we have to talk about? What is there to talk about? The game? Yeah, let's talk about the game." But all right, so let's get back to the game. Let's go just round here. I gave my thoughts. Anthony, what's your thoughts on here? What happened here? First time they've had to go on the road and take care of business.
The Bills had this game, had the game clearly. So some questionable calls from McDermott, or I don't know if you can blame McDermott for it, but I'm gonna blame McDermott for it because I feel like he should be the one to blame for it. He's the head coach.
Do it.
The fake punt. It's 4th and 5. If you're gonna go for it on 4th down, You have Josh fucking Allen as your quarterback. Just leave him on the field. Are you kidding me? You want your punter and DeMar Hamlin? Like, no offense to DeMar Hamlin, but that's who you want running your play. That's your big plan to gain 5 yards.
The play, I don't think whoever was back there, the play was jacked up to begin with. Like
Josh Allen scrambles for 5 yards
right
in his sleep.
Yeah,
like come on, man. Like, come on. It's such a bad play call. I cannot stand teams doing like the fake punts and stuff like that. I don't like them. If you're gonna go for it, just put your offense on the field. Like if you have a shitty offense, maybe, but like, come on, man. Yeah, I disagree completely.
I am surrounded by nothing but Josh Allen stuff right here on my shelf. So
he still goes out and does stuff that you don't see anyone do other than him and occasionally Patrick Mahomes. That ball he threw to Diggs. I've seen NASA shuttle launches that haven't traveled that far. That ball was a fucking missile. Oh my good Lord. Right through his hands. Literally through his hands.
A lion foot. Well, I'm sorry, you don't see these, but just focusing on the passing yards. That's not. I mean, how many more passing yards would he have had if Stephon Diggs makes that catch?
That sounds like a Dolphins fan complaining that Lamar Jackson only had 152 passing yards, completely failing to mention that he had 100 and something rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, Allen had 72 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, there it is. Hey, there we go. There's the rest of the stat line.
And by the way, the only leg of my 6-leg parlay that would have paid out at 2,400 that I missed was Stephon Diggs scoring a touchdown.
He screwed me the previous week.
You
He's a fucker.
bum shit. And I'm also not keeping your ass next year. Bye.
And you can't even and even though like the Diggs drop is bad, who was the other drop they had down the left sideline? Where the receiver came back to the ball, dove for it, literally went in his hands, and then when he went to hit the ground, he just fell it. I don't think it was Shakir because I think it was when Shakir was out. I think it was Sherfield.
Well, speaking of Shakir, that play in that pass in the end zone.
My God.
Josh Allen, come on, that was absurd.
Video game shit. He does like what did I say in the chat? He does shit that 06 Matt or 07 Matt and Michael Vick used to do, and he does it in real life though. Right. That's Josh Allen. Hey, I'm gonna run around, I'm gonna face the wrong way, and I'm gonna throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball into the end zone for a touchdown. No big deal.
No biggie. Melo, what you got on this one?
I mean, it seems like we're here with the same old Bills. How the hell do you lose so many damn games wide right? Unbelievable. Yeah, I honestly I think the play calling was not great. I don't understand that the DeMar Hamlin thing I think is ridiculous. Like that right there is a game changer. Like why? There was no reason for that. And then yeah, Diggs just didn't show up. 3 catches for 21 yards. This is the guy you're paying all millions of dollars for what?
Oh, I gave him too much credit. I said 45
drop catches. Yeah, no, like I remember, what was it the first time they lost to Mahomes? He was there standing, watching them celebrate, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get back here, and we're gonna win." Yeah, what happened this time? Third time wasn't the charm? I don't understand. And it feels like they're stuck with Diggs because that contract is a lot. They'll take a big hit, I think, if they were to trade him.
See, I get annoyed with the Diggs thing more because that narrative was out there that Diggs didn't want to play there anymore, and then you got him on the sideline saying "Let's go Buffalo," and now he drops a pass, doesn't have the balls to confront the media, and just hauls ass afterwards. And I don't respect that. Timmy, what you got?
I know I was in the chat. I said that McDermott I would fire him right after that fake punt. but I had some. Well, don't get me wrong. That was a dumb play. And the fact that it didn't lead to any points because of one of the craziest fucking fumbles I've ever seen in my life for Kansas City to fumble in the end zone at the 1-inch line was ridiculous.
Speaking of dumb plays,
I mean, another dumb play. You have Pacheco, you have Mahomes, and you give it to that idiot who already had drops and fumbles already. Well, that's another one of the story. However, I think McDermott actually deserves not a coach of the year. Only because you look at what he had to deal with this year. Look, Diggs is not a number 1. Davis is not a number 1. They're number 3. No receivers. The tight ends were their best part. Allen was their best part.
Gabe Davis is arguing with the fans.
Yeah, you lost Milano. You lost all your best guys, and he still pulled his team together as far as get as far as. Does he deserve Coach of the Year? No, I'm exaggerating, but I wouldn't fire him yet. But yes, I mean, of course, Casey picks this game to look like their old selves. haven't looked that good all year, and all of a sudden their offense looks unstoppable. And I have no problem with Taylor Swift, zero problems. I do have a problem with him doing the little heart when he scores a touchdown. I have a problem. Give her a wave
to his brother.
No, give her a wave, blow her a kiss. When
The
you do
brother.
the heart, when you do the hard thing, I lose a little respect for you.
He said it was for the Bills fans because they were saying some vile and mean shit about him and his family before the game. So he was just showing them, hey, it's all love.
Nah, he was doing it to Tay Tay. We all know it was.
Tay
That's what
Tay.
she does. That's her thing. That's where she started that. Her and Ellen started that little fucking stupid hard thing. So, but yeah,
I think I would
unfortunately,
fire him.
No message from a
Not
line
yet.
here.
How
Allen
many more
passer rating
times
was
are they going
86.
to lose to the Chiefs before you're like, okay, I feel like you have to make a change, and it's not going to be Josh Allen, even though Line apparently isn't a fan.
Well, they have
Not
to
at all.
reload.
Line is not a fan of it at all.
It can't be Diggs because I'm telling you that dead cap is going to be so much if they trade Diggs or do something else with him.
Someone will find Diggs and take that off their hands. But yeah, they need to reload. They need to reload big time. They had no weapons. You finally
What
get
receivers?
you finally get a decent running game, but you have no one to throw to. And it's I said Allen has to do everything himself. You can't do that. You just can't do it. You gotta give him help. And the defense is old. It's old. Even Poyer is gone this year. Matt Milano could possibly leave this year, even though he just re-signed for what, 2? He could also. I think he has an opt out or something. He could possibly leave this year.
No. His extension kicks in. Just kicked in. He's not going nowhere.
So I'm just saying, you gotta reload that offense. You gotta rebuild that defense. It's getting kind of old. Then I'd give McDermott one more chance. Other than that, yeah, that fucking punt was the worst call I've ever seen in a playoff game. Not even 4th and 1, 4th and 2, maybe 4th and 2.5, 4th and 5. We're gonna fake punt this. But like Ant said, if you're gonna go for it at 5 yards, you got Josh Allen
on their side.
Why are you fake punting the ball? Makes no sense. None.
This is wild, says a line. Allen needs more help. Mahomes has Kelsey that's been inconsistent and he still wins. But you got a number one wide receiver that's going out there 3 for 21 with a massive, like a game shifting drop pass on a 65-yard bomb. I'm estimating that. I don't remember how long it was.
Well, I mean, Mahomes dealt with that all year, no? The inconsistent receivers.
Chiefs were terrible. They weren't great offense.
Mahomes.
This was their best game of the year offensively.
Yeah,
Tony.
So, I mean, same thing.
The key here is Kadarius Toney, whatever you want to say, limited practice, whatever game time decision, he just doesn't play. Don't do it.
I mean, the only thing I will say is that Pacheco, I think, is better than Cook. I think that's a big game changer there for them because your quarterback should not be outrunning your running back.
True.
I thought James Cook had a good game. He played great in the first 2.5 quarters, and then he only had like 4 attempts after that. They just couldn't run the ball anymore. Just to poke in on their cap situation, they are $51 million over the cap going into next year, and they do not have a lot of easy moves to make. So a couple of easy moves they can make. They can restructure Josh Allen's contract, save him about $23 million, gets them to $28 million over the cap. Stephon Diggs, practically unmovable. Von Miller, practically unmovable. They can move on for Deion Dawkins if they wanted to and save money, but Deion Dawkins is still a good player for them. They can move on from Tre'Davious White if they wanted to and save money. Tre'Davious White is probably their best defensive player when healthy. Dawson Knox just signed a huge extension. They can't move on from him. It will hurt them to do that. Matt Milano, same thing, but he's a good player. Mitch Morse, they can move on from him and save some money. He also played good from them this year. They don't have a lot of options going forward. I really don't know what they do cap-wise. They can kick the can and just restructure a bunch of these deals with these aging players, but that's just going to make the cap situation as bad or worse the following year. So it's, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul at that point. I don't know that that's the right answer. I don't know what they do. I mean, obviously Josh isn't going anywhere, but I don't know what they do around him.
I think this was their shot.
I agree. This was their year. I think the window is
their shot to beat the Chiefs. You're at home. What better shot are you gonna get? I mean, you still have to go and beat the Ravens next week if you win, but overcoming that hurdle that you haven't been able to overcome, like that's big, especially, from a mental standpoint too. All right, so them's be the games that happened last week. We move forward here to Championship Sunday. This Sunday, Championship Sunday. We don't have much football left, guys. We only have 3 games left.
What do you mean? We're not going to cover the UFL?
Pro Bowl?
We're not covering the UFL? What are you talking about?
Pro Bowl.
I was actually looking at Pro Bowl tickets because I realized it was up here. They're not that expensive.
It's there.
I was thinking about going.
They shouldn't be.
$30?
They shouldn't be.
Guys,
they're cheap.
it's the XFL and the USFL merging.
Yep.
How are we not covering this?
We should be.
We have to. Melo's gonna cover it on the ship.
Yeah, they're gonna be playing those games all on all the
Get
TVs.
Get that. Better make sure they got it. All right, so let's get to this weekend's game, the Sunday's games. We start off with the Sunday afternoon game. It's a 3:00 start on CBS and Paramount Plus. It's the Chiefs at the Ravens. The Chiefs continue their road tour for the first time ever. Chiefs head to Baltimore to play the Ravens. The Ravens are a 3.5-point favorite here. Timmy, what you got?
So the Chiefs picked the right time to have their offense start clicking, and they looked very good. However, I am taking the Ravens to win this one, and Lamar gets over that hump, makes it to his first Super Bowl. Baltimore.
Super Bowl. Melo.
Man, I was so sure at the start of these playoffs that it was going to be the Ravens. And I just don't know anymore. Now I feel like the Chiefs they keep doing it. And I think you alluded to it last week, boss. You said something to the terms of like, oh, the Chiefs they're gonna figure it out. Like
I said, I'm not ready to
count them out because they always do Chief things and they win. And somehow Mahomes continues to figure out a way to win with this ragtag group of guys. And I don't know. I was so confident again going at the beginning of the season with the Ravens, and now I'm still going to go with them. I'm going to go with the Ravens, but I would not be surprised if the Chiefs somehow pull this off and we get Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl.
A little Swifty action. Ant, who you got here?
I have felt for a number of weeks now that the Ravens were the most complete team in football and the best team still playing. I don't think that has changed. If anything, I think that their performance against Houston last week probably solidified that feeling. They looked a little sloppy for about a quarter and a half, and then they just beat the brakes off of Houston after that. And while I don't know that they'll beat the brakes off of Kansas City, some of the defensive issues that Buffalo has with covering Kansas City players or allowing rushing yards on the ground, those are all things that this Baltimore defense is not going to have issues with. They have the personnel to match up with literally anyone. Don't care what your weapons look like. I think Baltimore is going to the Super Bowl.
As does Raul. Raul is projecting that they win and cover the 3.5. Guys, if I said it last week that I wasn't ready and not prepared to go against Patrick Mahomes, and then he goes out on the road into Buffalo and wins that game, how can I possibly then go against him this week? I get it. I get it. They're in Baltimore. Baltimore's the better team. I'll obviously, if I said anything otherwise, I'd be a weirdo, booed off the stage. But all that being said, I am still going to go with the Chiefs because I can't go against them yet. I just can't. They prove it. They just do it. It just happens. Bacardi, Coke, do it. So I'm going with the Chiefs.
Oh.
Say what you will. But I'm going with the Chiefs. What you got here, Ant? For those playing the home game, the Chiefs defense gave up the second fewest points per game this season, second fewest yards per game. I like that game. It's a home game.
Only the Ravens gave up. Only the Ravens gave up fewer yards, and only the Browns gave. Or excuse me, only the Ravens gave up fewer points. Only the Browns gave up fewer yards. So,
and the Browns had that huge discrepancy home and away of least amount of points given up at home in the NFL, most amount of points given up on the road.
Yeah, well, the points wise, the Browns were a lot lower on the list, but yardage wise, they just did not give up yards.
Yep. All right, so that's the AFC Championship game. We head to the NFC Championship game, which happens 6:30 on Fox later on Sunday. It's the Lions NFC Championship game. Yes, these go hand in hand this year. Lions head to San Francisco to play the 49ers. Sorry, yeah. The 49ers right now are a 7-point favorite here. We start here with Dave. Well, we only have 2 games, so we start with Dave on this one.
I'm so fucking curious because we know his Brock Purdy, but come on.
I'm just gonna keep it plain and simple. The 49ers are going to expose this fake ass Lions team.
This is Jared, like the 8th week in a row we've heard this.
But I keep going to the well. At one point, it's gonna stick to the wall.
I totally forgot, Steve. I was gonna send you the old Goof Troop cartoon show. I was gonna send you the theme song and ask you to open the show with it, with the Goof Troop theme. I totally forgot. It's my fault.
They're gonna get exposed. This nice fairy tale was nice. Congratulations, you won the first playoff game in God knows how many years. You won the division, but this is where the fairy tale story ends.
But that's not being exposed.
They're gonna expose. But like this -7. I would go ahead. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and put like $5 and say the Niners are gonna win by 13 points. They're going to expose this Lions team, and I'm telling you, they're gonna expose them.
It's the NFC Championship. It's not exposing.
Now wait a second.
Of course it is.
So is this there? Do you because we should factor this in the event that Debo doesn't play? Let's all if he can go, he goes. Obviously, like Timmy said, NFC Championship game. This is it. It's one step away from the Super Bowl. So, but is your prediction not the 13? I won't hold you to 13 points. But is your prediction with or without Debo, or is it leaning on if Debo's able to go or not?
With or without, they're going to beat this team. The lights in San Francisco are going to be too bright.
So you're saying I got the Lions -13.5 is what you're saying?
No, I excused him from the points. Wait,
is that I'm just asking? He said 13.
Debo, oh wait, he's saying 13 if Debo plays.
But without
if Debo doesn't play, I let him off the head. I let him off the hook on that. 10.
So let me just we can make this live on air. So you'll give me -13.5 Lions if Debo plays, -10.5 Lions if Debo doesn't play.
Correct.
I'll take it. You got it. Shake.
We can shake on Sunday in person.
That's right.
Well, what do we?
Just so you know, there's nowhere to watch the game on Sunday at Epcot.
What do you mean?
They do not have a place to watch the game at Epcot.
Not even the United States, America.
They ain't got no TVs over there, man. I don't think they have TVs in that whole park. Dude. I've never seen a TV in there.
No, they don't want you watching TV. They want you riding fucking rides and drinking drinks and spending money.
I will say this. If we go, so there's a back entrance to Epcot. If you go out the back entrance, it takes you over to the boardwalk. On the boardwalk, there is some bars, and I'm pretty sure one of them will have the game on.
That's by the France Pavilion, right?
Yes. It's just before France. Just before France and just after England. It's in between them. England's here, France is here, and there's an exit right there.
I mean, I think I would be down for that because I think I normally don't drink in Canada, so England is always the last stop, so it would make sense,
Why don't you drink in Canada? A little Canadian whiskey?
They actually have some good drinks in Canada usually. They have like some apple whiskey drinks that are pretty tasty.
Give it a shot, eh? Don't let your hate of Bret Hart put a burden on your drinking in Canada.
If they had some poutine, maybe, but I never find the poutine there. But then after starting in Mexico, like you go Mexico, Norway, Germany, China, Japan, USA, Morocco,
Canada, like,
Italy,
give me a ginger
France. When I get to Canada, I'm like, damn, do I really want to have an Ottawa apple or whatever, like drink? I'm okay. I think it's time to go back to the hotel.
Calgary Flame. All right. All right. So Melo goes with the 49ers. Interested to hear what Anthony has to say on this one, or where he's going with this.
I was looking at stats and whatnot. One of the things I want to say, Aaron Glenn's done a really good job of knowing when to dial up blitzes. They've actually been getting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks here the last couple weeks. Started out in that Rams game, they were able to get after Stafford, and then last week they continued getting after Mayfield. If they are able to do that, to create that same kind of pressure, which the Niners offensive line did not look great last week against Green Bay, who has, in my opinion, a inferior front seven to Detroit. It's going to be a long game for San Francisco because I already told you I don't think Kyle trusts him anymore. And as soon as he starts making some bad passes like he was doing last week, we know what the play calling is going to look like. It's going to be a whole bunch of McCaffrey runs. You're going to let that Lions defense play downhill. I don't think that's a good formula if they want to beat this team, because I don't think they're going to be able to slow their offense down at all. That offense has been absolutely clicking. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'll take the Lions on the road against the Niners to go to the Super Bowl. Give me the Lions.
All right. Me next. This goes against a lot of things that I have here. For some reason, I have this gut feeling that Debo is not going to be able to go. I know you envision your number one guy, your number one receiver, and the guy that you can use out of the backfield, in the slot, go deep, guy who does it all. I don't think that the 49ers can overcome that with what the Lions have been able to accomplish this year. If you think about it, if you take it by just looking at the offense, if there's no Debo, do the 49ers have an advantage on offense? I know you got McCaffrey, but outside of McCaffrey, Detroit running game hasn't been awful. Oh, right. Goof, as you like to call him, Dave, has been pretty damn good. And their receiving core has been good. I mean, led by the non-Pro Bowl, yes, all-pro wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
119 catches, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns. Not a Pro Bowler.
Not a
but
Pro Bowler.
But a first-team All-Pro.
Screw that
Makes
guy.
sense.
Pro Bowl. So you can't even watch him. You want to go to the Pro Bowl, and you can't even watch one of the best in the business out there playing flag football.
Don't worry.
It's not going to matter. You weren't going to be able to watch him anyway because they're going to the Super Bowl. He wasn't going to play in the Pro Bowl regardless.
No. When they start taking off, your Ayuk's, who also is an All-Pro. So I mean, he has someone to throw to, boss.
He does have 3 other All-Pros. He just looked really bad once Debo went out.
I'm not. There's a big difference between when Debo's there and when Debo's out. It's a 10 point per game swing. It's obviously a much smaller sample size with him out, but it's like 34 points a game compared to 24 points a game. So I'm going under the thought that Debo's not going to be able to go based on all the things that they're saying right now. Maybe he goes, but maybe he goes and he gets, he runs like 6 routes and he's a decoy, whatever. But I'm here. I'm going with the Lions, baby. I'm going with Detroit.
Oh, God.
And I know exactly where my friend right over here is going to go. I know exactly where he's going. Timmy T, take it away.
You know where I'm going.
Get the hoodie up, baby. Timmy T is going with Detroit, I feel.
Timmy, we can't
Can't
hear
hear
you.
you. Can't hear
No,
you.
we lost you.
Thank
Nope,
God.
still can't hear you.
No.
15
There it
seconds,
is.
I
There you
said.
go.
15
There
seconds,
we
and you cut it off just so we don't get charged for that.
go.
No, but yeah, look, whether he plays or not, Debo, he's banged up. McCaffrey banged up. Purdy did not look good for 3.5 quarters on Sunday. I thought I was going to go into this game honestly picking the 49ers, and I really thought that'd be kind of like the end for the Lions, and they had a good year, but they look real good, man. They're like whew, they're dangerous. Goff is playing well. Running back looks great. Amon St. Brown is ridiculous. So yeah, I've said it since the middle of last year. I like these Lions. They got a great future, and I'm picking the Lions to go to the goddamn Super Bowl. Let's
would've
go,
thought?
baby. Let's
Who
go.
would have thought? You ever
NFC
think that
title
you'd
game,
say
if
that in
three
your
of us picking
lifetime?
the Detroit Lions to go to the Super Bowl.
It's going to be an
Wow,
all.
so
Look, Michigan won the national. Now they're going to win the NFL. Their basketball team blows. Their hockey team hopefully will never win again. So
Baseball team sucks.
we gotta change the
baseball
name of
team
the show
sucks.
to Unsportsmanlike Delusion with all these people thinking the Lions are gonna make it to the Super Bowl. Please.
Really? I mean, Dave, you have to admit that they look good.
No, I'm not gonna admit
No?
that because they were given that Rams game. They shouldn't be in this position.
They were not given.
Okay,
that
so
game.
go back
They
to what
were
I said
given-
before.
I
If the
literally
refs
sent
are
you
if the
the
refs are
video.
giving them
Clearly.
games, what makes you think they're going to stop at the Niners game? Why would
And-
they
and-
want the
and-
Niners?
and the
Because
refs-
the Niners
and-
will overcome the refs.
And
Right,
the Cowboy
got it.
and the
We shall
Cowboys.
overcome.
The Cowboy game was taken from them, so it's even.
It was not taken from them. They chose not to kick the field goal.
The
That's
Cowboy
your boy
game-
MCDC's fault.
the Cowboy
MCDC trying to
game
think that
was
he's this great
fugazi.
coach and he's okay.
But why would they kick the field goal if they were successful?
What do you mean? Why kick to tie the game? Go to overtime.
Yeah, but they got the
risk you
2-point
take-
conversion.
The risk you take there, yeah, it's not.
He's
it's
saying that because
not
they kept going
ref's
for it,
fault.
is what he's saying.
Yeah, I
that
know, I know.
3 guys
Yeah,
decided
the
to
last
raise
time
their
was a
hand.
little much. Yeah, the last one was a little much.
Which one?
It's not the ref's fault that he didn't do his
The last
job.
time.
What?
The last
course he
time
did
that
his
they went
job.
for
It's
2.
his job to
75
listen to who
yards out.
reports.
You gotta
to
go
him.
back and check the tape where 3 guys decide to raise their hand.
That
The
doesn't
ref's
fucking
looking at
matter.
one,
Nobody
and he
raised
says,
their hand.
"Okay,
No.
that-
Put the tape
No,
on
I don't
there.
think
Nobody
anybody
raised
raised
their
Of course
hand.
it did. The guy's
No.
coming
Let's
in
go
and
to the
he's raising his
videotape.
hand. He's
They walked
looking
up to
at the
him.
ref.
They walked up to him. Nobody
pass
raised
the
their
popcorn.
hand. Go ahead. Put the tape on. Go for it.
There's
Nobody
multiple
raised their hand.
earlier in the
Pull it
game. The
up.
same thing
Pull it up.
happened. The guy's coming in
Pull it up.
from the. I would have to find it.
It's
I'll
very
send
easy
it
to
to you.
find.
You want me to find it?
No.
I
By the
promise
way-
no one put their hand
Listen,
up.
we're here. Listen, the Lions are in the NFC Championship game. The Dallas Cowboys are at home. We are all happy about that. No matter what
Hu-
happened in
And the
in that
Houston
football
Texans
game.
have more playoff wins than the goddamn Cowboys do.
That's right. That's right.
And it
Melo,
and
do-
that game actually ended up having no effect on what the playoff matchups would have been.
Right. At the time, it could have, but then with what happened in the following week, no. What do we got? Raul says the Lions were robbed against the Cowboys. Don't go
He's
against
picking-
Raul, Dave.
But he's picking the Niners, though. He's picking the
Hey,
Niners.
he's
did
picking
pick
the
the
49ers 27-21. All right, so that's your championship Sunday picks, fellas. It's January 24th. Remember back when we were doing our preview show in August? It's bullshit. It's bullshit, guys. All right,
We all
let's
had
head
a
into
Baltimore
the.
Detroit Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
Of course. What do you mean? Kidding me?
I did.
Kidding?
No, I didn't.
I mean, I would have had one half. I probably would have had it correct if a certain, GOAT doesn't go down 4 plays into the year.
I had to make it in the playoffs. Definitely.
Oh, you had the Jets making their first Super Bowl in like 60 years. That's great. Sure, that would happen.
winning. And winning.
Sure that would
winning.
happen.
Very good. Very
I
good.
had them beating the Niners.
Just be thankful that you had the injury to fall back on as an excuse, because it would have been way worse had he actually played.
For him, too. For Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I don't know if you
all
realize
right.
this. That offensive line didn't block anybody this year. So
Jets
all they
are-
did was got the injury out of the way early instead of late.
Yeah, the Jets are just the East Coast
True.
Chargers. No matter who they got. The East Coast Chargers. That's all.
The East Coast Chargers.
I assure you, if the Jets were in contention, I'd be back. All right, let's move it on to our last topic for the evening. A little bit of baseball in the middle or late part of January. We got about 2 to 3 weeks until pitchers and catchers start reporting. But let's talk about Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame votes came through yesterday, and we have 3 brand new Hall of Famers. And I also want to add that I keep on seeing this immaculate grid all over the place, and I just realized that it's right here on Baseball Reference. I had no idea where people were getting this immaculate grid game that they were playing, which I want no part of. I don't need that stuff in my life. Adrian Beltre makes it to the Hall of Fame with 95.1% of the vote in his first attempt. Todd Helton gets in after 6 years. Gets 79.7% of the vote, and then Joe Mauer, his first time on the ballot, 76.1% of the vote. Now, I will say that there's probably not much argument against Adrian Beltre. I think we can all agree that he is deserving of being in the Hall. Gets 95.1% of the vote. 3,166 hits in his career, nearly 500 home runs, 286 average, 1,700 RBI, and also a fun guy to watch play baseball.
I'll agree with
messing
that.
around with other guys and stuff. Todd Helton. Let's pause here for a moment. Todd Helton gets in with, what did I say? 79.7% of the vote. 316 career batting average, 369 career home runs, 2,519 hits, 1,406 RBI. Now, I say let's pause here because Todd Helton played for the Colorado Rockies before the humidor was put in place. 3, and don't quote me, it's around this. I'm sure, and maybe you have the exact averages up, but about 335, 340 in Colorado, 285, 290 on the road.
345 at home, 287 on the road.
How much closer can we get here, guys?
1048 OPS at home, 855 OPS on the road for his career.
Okay, so all that being said, 17 years in the majors. Does the disparity? Do you say, all right, Helton? Well, sorry, you played in Colorado. You're not deserving, or do you say, hey, that 287 is not so horrible on the road? There's guys in the Hall of Fame with around a 290 average, and then you say, all right, well, whatever about Colorado. What are you supposed to do? Make Colorado wing of the Hall of Fame? But Timmy, what do you think about this? Does the Colorado effect have that much of an impact that he should not be in the Hall of Fame?
No, I don't think so. Listen, in a sport with fucking asterisks and all that other bullshit that we got going on over the years, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't see the big deal at all. Especially considering, well, not that many of them making the Hall of Fame anyway. Considering we had a whole steroid era that's considered, I don't think it makes a big deal. I mean, they're not letting those guys in anyway, but no, I think it's fine. Does he deserve it?
Right.
Sure. Well, who didn't get in? That's what I want to know. Who did he get in over? Then we'll see if he deserves it.
Do you want me to petition my case?
Oh, and by the way, I'm happy Gary Sheffield did not make it.
Oh, then you're gonna hate me here in about 3 seconds.
What?
Because that's exactly who I'm gonna argue for to be in. Is Gary Sheffield.
For sure.
Fuck him. He fucking purposely.
Wait, why?
He swung at every pitch thrown to him against the Tigers in the playoffs for the Yankees. I'm talking about 3 straight swings, you're out. Next back, 3 straight swings, you're out. Fuck him. He threw that game. I hope he fucking dies. I hope he chokes on a fucking chicken wing.
He's a really nice guy. I've met him multiple times. He's a really nice guy.
Is he?
He can lick my undercarriage.
The nephew. Every time I've met him, I've been very nice to me.
What? He's the nephew of a cokehead.
I couldn't care less. Fuck him.
Dwight Gooden. By the way, we're Mets are retiring Dwight Gooden's number this year as well as Strawberry's number this year. This is the year of the cocaine for the Mets.
Hey.
They should give away little baggies for that day. Little baggies.
All right. Well, oh, nice.
I would have
All
punched
right.
him in the balls.
Wow.
Let's
all right. Well,
swing at 9 straight pitches for 3 straight outs and cost the
you can't
Yankees
keep him
a
out of the Hall of
goddamn
Fame for
series.
that.
Sure you can. He's a prick.
Okay, so I'll go into my defense of Gary Sheffield here. So,
There is no defense for
Wait.
pricks.
I want to
list everyone
ahead,
that didn't
no.
make it.
Yeah, I could do that for you.
He didn't make it because he was a prick. That's why. He'll make it in like 3 years when there's more pricks coming up.
this was his last year of eligibility.
Then you're out.
Who?
Yeah,
No.
well, I mean, I think the
Sheffield?
whole format is garbage. Yeah, this was his 10th year of eligibility.
Oh, the format is total shit. Total shit.
Well, the voters are total shit too. So
Yeah.
All right. So for players who did not get in, we can go to this. Knocking on the door is Billy Wagner, 73. So you need 75% of the vote to get in. So he's at 73.8%. Gary Sheffield, not right behind him, 10% behind at 63.9. Andrew Jones, and then Carlos Beltran, all in that same area, 57, 61, 63%. And then you got the drop off. The drop off includes A-Rod at 35%, Manny Ramirez at 32.5%, that scumbag, douchebag, scum of the earth, Chase Utley at 29%. 29%. Chase Utley. For what? For what?
For what? World Series champion
what?
Chase Utley.
Yeah, let's give
Locker room leader Chase Utley.
Locker room leader.
Yeah.
he did have a
we
he did have
can't
a
focus
6-year
championships
stretch.
on 1 out of 25.
He has a 6-year stretch in his career where it's probably the greatest 6-year stretch by any second baseman in the history of baseball. I'm not saying he should be in. I'm just saying he has a stretch there in the middle of his career that is arguably the greatest stretch by any second baseman ever.
And he
yeah, Steve, you should know. You should know about those 6 years.
I don't know about the 6 years. I know about it.
Steve should. Steve should.
Yeah, Steve
I
should.
thought you were talking to me. I was
but
like,
you would imagine that
Steve.
if he had 6 of the best years ever of second baseman and consider Pete
I wasn't
Rose
prepared
there.
to talk Chase Utley too. Hang on.
No. I do not want to do a deep dive here on this. So 29%.
Oh no,
Omar
the
Vizquel.
worms are open, Steve. We have to now.
Omar Vizquel 17, Bobby Abreu 15, Jimmy Rollins 15, Andy Pettit 14, Mark Burley
like
8.
my worst nightmare. This list is my worst nightmare. Andrew Jones can suck it. Bobby Carlos Beltran can suck it. I hate all these guys. I'm glad they didn't make it.
Stop it.
Sheffield, you hate Sheffield.
Timmy, are you sure you don't have all the votes?
And just to bring back up the Sheffield real quick, Sheffield only had 4 strikeouts in that series in the 4 games that the series lasted.
It felt like 12.
I'm looking at it. They only had 4 strikeouts.
I will call Eddie right
500
now.
home runs.
He will go ballistic on you.
I'm just looking at what it was.
What's
he had
his number?
4 strikeouts in 4 games. It's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was expecting to see like a 6 strikeout 3-game stretch or something, but
you'll see.
Nope.
I'll bring up.
But also, Gary Sheffield in his prime was a feared guy in that lineup.
No, he should be
whatever lineup.
I'm only.
I used to love that.
A lot of teams though.
I'm only busting balls. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Sure, but do I like him? No.
So,
Never will.
So here's my Gary Sheffield rant. Do any of you guys ever look up baseball stats on Pro Baseball or Baseball Reference? Excuse me.
Yeah,
you should have just stopped that. Does anyone look up baseball stats?
No, dude. I'm trust me.
That's where I found out the immaculate grid.
I look at the back of the baseball card. Look at the card.
So anyone who's ever been on Baseball Reference, when you go to a player's page, they have a section on the page where you can click. It's like Hall of Fame rankings. So what it does, or not Hall of Fame rankings, it ranks his statistics against all the other players in baseball history, and it gives you the 10 most similar statistical players to that player that you're looking at. So for Gary Sheffield, I'm going to run down his list of the 10 players that have similar stats to him. Okay. Those players are Chipper Jones, Mel Ott, Reggie Jackson, Carlos Beltran, Ken Griffey Jr., Fred McGriff, Mickey Mantle, Billy Williams, Frank Robinson, and Frank Thomas. Of that list, the only person on that list who's not in the Hall of Fame is Carlos Beltran. The rest of that list is in the Hall of Fame. And if I'm not mistaken, Gary Sheffield is now the only player with over 2,600 hits over 500 home runs and over over 1,600 RBIs that's not in the Hall of Fame. The only player. Never
it's
had a
steroid
season,
thing, right?
but he was never linked to steroids.
He admitted to unknowingly using the cream, not knowing what it was. And
but he never came up in any of the court docs. I think that shit's so stupid. Regardless, never more than 90 strikeouts in a season, ever in his whole career. Never struck out,
which is ridiculous with this whole thing going on. This whole
had
thing,
several
you're taught to
seasons
be
where
still.
he had more walks than strikeouts. Had years where he led all of baseball in on base percentage, OPS, and home runs. Multiple 100 RBI seasons. 5 seasons over 120 RBIs.
You know what it comes down to? He's a prick.
That's
He's a nice guy.
He's a
What's like Schilling too?
Schilling is
Schilling's a
Nah, fuck Schilling. Fuck Schilling.
And a lying shit. Fucking.
Listen,
I don't care how good he was. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, you hate people as players, and you hate
But I'm
people
saying,
as
like,
human beings.
you admit
I
to
hate
that.
Kurt Schilling as a human being. He can rot in hell, that fat bastard.
Yeah. Tim said he doesn't
Whoa.
actually hate Gary Sheffield. Kurt Schilling's different though.
Kurt
Yeah,
Schilling, I
that's-
fucking despise Kurt Schilling.
Yeah. But
Fake blood.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
No, we
No.
shouldn't.
No,
Yes, he
absolutely
should.
not.
We won't get into the steroid arguments because like Alex Rodriguez, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, the
He
fact
should.
that they're not in is fucking comical.
Make a
to me.
steroid wing.
No, make a steroid.
Make a
wing.
steroid era wing.
Here you go.
No,
Here you go.
he should
Barry
be
Bonds,
in regardless.
Barry Bonds, the only member of the 500 club in all of baseball history. No one in
Wait,
baseball
I-
history has been 500.
I wanted to go back, Anthony, to the similarity scores, but to Adrian Beltre. Adrian Beltre is I feel like Adrian Beltre is a super underrated guy for some reason. I like he was never that sexy player, that sexy target. Remember he was trash with the Dodgers. Well, maybe I'm overestimating. He was not good with the Dodgers when he first came up. They gave him up when Seattle. But listen to his similarity scores at the end of his career. Listen to these names: Dave Winfield, Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken Jr., Miguel Cabrera, Al Kaline, Chipper Jones, Andre Dawson, Collier Stremski, and then a steroid head, Rafael Palmeiro. But did you who even dreams about being mentioned in the same list as those guys?
I think the thing with Beltre too that gets overlooked or not thought about as much. This is also a 5-time Gold Glove winner at third base and a 2-time Platinum Glove winner. He was the best defensive third baseman in baseball for a very large chunk of his career. Like very, very good defensively. And no one talks about that stuff anymore. But yeah, I have no problem with Adrian Beltre getting in.
Yeah, me either.
The Todd Helton one,
Yeah.
I could argue either way on that one, so I just leave it alone.
Was Todd Helton first ballot?
No,
it's
like
6 years.
third or
Okay,
fourth.
then
6
I
years.
don't have a problem.
Oh,
with it.
6th year. Oh wow, it was longer than I thought. So no, I don't.
I don't have a problem with it. I thought he had.
Like I said,
was good.
the stats are they could be better, they could be worse. I mean, if you look at his career batting average 314, career on base 414, career OPS 953. Those are impressive numbers
Who's
from
this?
anybody.
If you start
Todd Helton.
comparing,
Yep.
if you start comparing guys now that are going to make the Hall of Fame, their batting averages are going to be shit.
Compared to
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But the other guy that got in, Joe Mauer, only catcher in. This guy was a hitting machine. Only catcher in Major League history to win 3 batting titles, and he would have probably played a lot longer at catcher if he not gotten concussed a couple times. I think it was. But he was first ballot.
I agree
just
with
to
that
run down
completely.
Todd Helton's similarity scores: Jeff Bagwell, Edgar Martinez, Luis Gonzalez, Vladimir Guerrero, Orlando Cepeda, Andres Galarraga, Joey Votto, Larry Walker, Jim Rice, Fred McGriff. So I don't have an issue with Todd Helton
Not
getting
bad
in the Hall
company.
of Fame. No, not at
bad
all.
company.
That's a pretty good list. It's a pretty
All
good
right.
list.
Next year, let's fast forward to 2025. These are the guys that are going to be on this ballot, and it's some of them will be interesting. Obviously, you got the carryover from this year: Wagner, Jones, Beltran, with north of 55%. Next year, Ichiro.
First ballot. First
Come
ballot.
on, what are we doing? You got CC Sabathia on there
First
for
ballot.
next year.
The borderline, but yeah.
I don't think he's a first ballot.
You don't think so?
No. I think for pitchers, it's way harder.
That indicate how old we're getting.
This is true. This
is stupid names here. Dustin Pedroia, Ian Kinsler, Felix Hernandez, Troy Tulowitzki. Like these are guys who we watched their entire careers. Not to say that they're
A-Rod's never getting in.
If Troy Tulowitzki could have stayed healthy, Troy Tulowitzki would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I know that's the whole Colorado effect again, but my God, he was doing things
without a doubt.
I don't think the Pedroia and Kinsler I would have to really look at. Zobrist doesn't deserve to be in Hall of Fame. Sorry.
I'm just saying, guys who like
player?
Yeah. But I'm just saying
but he's not a Hall of Famer.
Like these names that we watched literally like the whole career, and it's been 5 years since they retired. It's like, damn, we're getting old.
I vividly remember when Dustin Pedroia and Ian Kinsler were like hot prospects. Like
top
remember
end, them. And top of the line picks in fantasy.
CC too. CC's the same way. I remember CC being
King
like
Felix with his perfect game.
Prospect.
Like, come on. So King Felix is also on there, and then you get into other names: Curtis Granderson, Hanley Ramirez, Russell Martin, Adam Jones, and so on.
Granderson.
This is Mark Reynolds' first year in the Hall of Fame ballot. Does he get one vote, like a sympathy vote?
No,
he shouldn't even be on the list.
Fernando
Rodney. Not every player that retires needs to go on this fucking list. This is ridiculous.
Wait a second. I have got Timmy. I got to tell Keith about this. Jason Vargas, that pitched for the Mets. The goofy
Why?
Dude,
why?
He's on this list.
There should be a whole separate list that just says no on it. It says no, and it lists all the guys who retired 5 years ago that have no.
Listen, other names, and you probably know these names more if you play fantasy baseball. But Mark Trumbo, like these are streaming guys that you picked up for home runs. Kendrys Morales, who broke his leg on a Grand Slam celebration,
and
jumping on home plate.
Again.
Ian Desmond, Clay Buchholz. But like Anthony said, not every name needs to go on this damn list. Jason Vargas, a career 99 wins, 99 losses, 4.29 ERA, and the most.
Why the fuck is he even mentioned?
Punch-worthy face. The most punch-worthy face in all of baseball.
Former Marlins hot prospect Jason Vargas. Just to trickle back to CC real quick, because I wanted to look at the similarity scores for him and Felix. CC's similarity list I thought was interesting. Andy Pennant, Mike Mussina, Bartolo Colon, Zach Greinke, Jack Morris, Justin Verlander, Bob Gibson, David Wells, Luis Tiant, and Mickey Lolich. Not a bad list. I don't know that necessarily means he's Hall of Fame worthy, or not first ballot at least. But I thought it was an interesting list. And then for Felix's list, Cole Hamels, Kevin Apier, John Lackey, Jake Peavy, David Steed, Kevin Millwood. A much worse list, honestly. Frank Viola, Bert Horton. Yeah, this is a way worse list.
Frank Viola. A Frank Viola reference. Jeez.
Yeah, so
Felix. By the way, Jason Vargas in 2017 in his his age 34 season went 18-11 for the Royals, and the Mets promptly picked him up, and he went 7-9.
Can't they put in some form of like prerequisite? Like if you're a pitcher, like if you're a starting pitcher and you never won a Cy Young or never like finished like top 3 in Cy Young voting, like we're not even going to throw your name on this list. It's irrelevant. You know, like unless you're like didn't win a Cy Young, but were like an 8-time All-Star or some shit.
Jason Vargas has little to celebrate in his life. Can he not just put his name that's on the Hall of Fame ballot up on his mantle?
Is that how he's going to introduce himself? Jason Vargas, Hall of Fame nominee.
Hall of Fame nominee.
How come
Hall of Fame nominee Jason Vargas?
How come Hensley?
Daddy.
Throw Bam Bam Mullins on that list.
Bam Bam Mullins. He was on there at some point.
Throw them on there.
He was on there. Well, Kevin Moss. Remember Kevin Moss?
Oh, don't ever say that on Eddie. Eddie will have a heart attack. Eddie's head will explode.
Him and Kevin Moss. Who was the other big guy for you? Spencer. Shane Spencer? Yeah.
How do you feel about Carl Pavano, Timmy?
I don't at all.
I don't.
See, I hate Carl Pavano. That's who I hate.
I hope he's sitting.
He's a Marlin.
I hope somewhere he's in an alley addicted to heroin That's what I hope.
Okay.
Jesus,
I don't hate him that
Tim.
much.
Damn. That went dark really quick there. Holy shit.
Well, he just killed somebody before, choking on a something. Who was that you killed before?
What?
I didn't kill anybody.
Timmy
Kurt
said he hoped somebody died choking on something.
Oh, Gary Sheffield died choking on a chicken
Gary
wing.
Sheffield. Yeah, Gary Sheffield.
No, he should be in the Hall of Fame though. But then die eating a chicken wing.
So
right.
of the pitchers you named for next year, CC is the only one I would consider, but I don't think he's first ballot.
I think anybody's getting in next
gets
year.
in.
I think next year they're taking off. I think next year they're taking off. I don't think anybody gets in next year.
No, Ichiro.
Oh, Ichiro. He's the
Ichiro
only
first
one.
ballot. That's an easy one.
He's the only one.
Is he really the only? Hold on, now you're gonna make me pull up this damn list.
So
come on, let's be real. A-Rod should be getting in.
Let's.
Well, I said that. Him, Bonds, Clemens, but we would need a 6-hour show to debate that.
Yeah.
You gotta let them all in.
At this point, Pettit's what? I don't know, his 8th year.
I will die on the hill
Pettit's
that
only
Barry
got
Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame.
Pettit's only got like 15% of the vote. He's not that's not it.
Pettit's not getting in.
Realistic deal.
They're saying so the question is, will Ichiro be a unanimous Hall of Famer? Will he be the first? Is it the first? Will it be the first one?
Jeter wasn't unanimous.
Rivera.
Jeter missed
next
by one.
Unanimous.
You know that one Red Sox fan
next.
didn't vote for Jeter. Rivera was only unanimous. Rivera, that's it. Jeter missed by one. A Red Sox fan.
The Rivera one's deserved. I'm not gonna lie, and it's not that I dislike Derek Jeter, but he shouldn't have been unanimous.
He should have been unanimous.
Shouldn't?
I don't agree. It's not that I dislike him. I don't. If you look at the stats, they're just not that good. They're not.
5 World Series, 3,000 hits.
If you look at the team stats, they look great. If you look at the individual stats, not as great.
How many Gold Gloves? All that stuff.
How many?
The throw.
That's a good question, actually.
Mr. November.
New York City pimp.
Yeah, just based off of his starting lineup, that's Hall of Fame.
Yes,
that's right.
Five Gold Gloves.
Handing out fucking baskets of cookies for his women in the morning. Come on.
It's the right way to do things.
With the sign ball.
It's class. It's class.
And please don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been a first ballot. He had almost 3,500 career hits. First ballot, I have no problem with. Unanimous. I don't think he should have been unanimous.
So Anthony was that one guy who voted no. Son of a bitch.
I'm not saying. I'm not even saying I would have voted no. I would have just left it up to someone else to vote no, because I do think he deserved to be a first ballot. But
Anthony said I would have voted yes, but somebody out there should have voted no.
I would have voted yes, but highly petitioned someone to vote no.
It's like I don't want to be the one that they're looking for to find out who voted against.
I wouldn't have been the one to give him the no, but someone should have.
But you would have egged somebody on.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I would
have been sending them text messages.
Dare you to vote no against Derek Jeter? I dare you.
Does Derek Jeter really deserve 400 votes though? Like 299 is good, right?
Well, it depends on how many people have the votes. Like Lebitard, Lebitard lost his vote because he voted out his vote. He put a poll on his website and said, "Who should I vote for the Hall of Fame?" And he voted for those people, and he lost his vote.
And he still probably had a better ballot than half these dumb fucks that vote. So
Anthony would have been the guy. Anthony would have been the guy who'd been like, "Hey man, you know what's cool, or what would be real cool if someone doesn't vote for Derek Jeter, man. That we're gonna be talking about that guy forever." Just
no press is bad press. No press is bad press. You're the only one. This is it. There's 400 of us. You're the only one.
That guy right now. That guy sitting right now. Listen, I didn't have a great career, but guess what? I didn't vote for Derek Jeter. I'm the one. I'm the one guy.
It's gonna be on his gravesite.
He'll be on his deathbed. He'll say, "I have something to confess." What? I didn't vote for Terry Jeter. I'm the one.
I will say his Hall of Fame comparables list is actually a really impressive list. Really makes me think.
Sure.
Craig Biggio, Paul Molitor, Robin Yount, Roberto Alomar, who in my opinion is the greatest second baseman ever. Charlie. Oh my God. I don't know how to say that name. Geringer, Charlie. Cal Ripken, Joe Morgan, Ivan Rodriguez, Johnny Damon, Eddie Collins. That's a really good list.
Pudge?
Pudge was phenomenal. Well, no, he's like doesn't he have like the hold on, let me think about what I'm saying before I say it. Doesn't he rank like top 5 all time in games caught, like games actually played where he actually played the position? I want to say he does, and he was very good defensively for a very large chunk of his
let's be
career.
real.
Number
Without
one.
Pudge, they don't. The Marlins don't win that series.
13
by more than
Gold Gloves. 13
by more than 200 games over
13.
Carlton Fisk.
So he has the most.
He has the most by 200 games over Carlton
Wow.
Fisk.
He was still catching games at like 40 something years old. Like,
He was a machine.
yeah.
Top
Pudge
5 games
Yeah.
played as catcher. Top 5 overall. Pudge is number 1. Carlton Fisk number 2. Bob Boone number 3. Yadier Molina number 4, and Gary Carter number 5.
I was gonna say, where's Yachty on that list? But yeah,
That guy's still going, isn't he?
Nah, he just
3
retired last year.
He just retired. 3 Hall of Famers and 1 future Hall of Famer in the top 5.
Pretty good list.
Yup.
Yeah, Pudge was a no doubter.
All right, we covered a lot of shit tonight.
This is why we can't do baseball stats, because I could sit here and talk baseball stats for fucking hours.
I want to try that Immaculate Grid, but I don't want to try it. It's very it's a daunting task. Ant, have you ever tried one of those?
I've done it a couple times.
All right, I haven't even tried it.
What's an
It's good.
Immaculate
It's
Grid?
been a while. I haven't done it in a while. It's if you go to
So-
immaculategrid.com.
Well, it's there's
gives
actually
you-
a link right here on baseballreference.com. That's how
I don't know.
that's how I
don't
saw
know
it.
if I have enough
Like,
room
I've
on
never-
the camera. It looks like this.
Mhm.
And
So you have to match up.
The Cubs
Yeah, go
player
ahead,
that played third base for minimum 1 game, a Cubs
Oh.
player that had a 6+ WAR season, a player that played for the Cubs and the Brewers. But the goal is that you don't want to find players that like everybody finds. You want to try and find like the names that nobody has, because that's how you get more points.
Got it. Okay.
It's a pretty fun thing to do. I'm not gonna lie. I've done it. I had a
It is
stretch
fun,
there where I
but
used to
so
do one every day.
Anthony likes, we all know some of the games that Anthony likes, the blank, the quarterback game. Like these are things that he thinks are fun, but it's like you look
For
at
all
some
you
of the
know, I
grids, you're like,
developed
holy
Immaculate
shit,
Grid.
let me run away from here. All right, so let's get up on out of here. Timmy T, in this beautiful 90-minute plus 1 hour episode that we did here, what you got here on the way out?
Good weekend for sports. Royal Rumble Saturday night. I'm very excited about that. And then 2 great football games, hopefully, where we will see the Lions make it to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 50s. Some shit. I'm gonna say hope anyway. I hope. I'll be Emineming it all weekend. It's all Eminem all weekend. And Eminem and Kid Rock
all
all
Detroit play this
weekend. All weekend.
Jack
So I
Harlow?
can't wait. I can't wait.
Jack Harlow. Huh? All right, Melo, what you got here on the way out?
Everyone have a good weekend. Happy Hump Day. Yep, Royal
Hump
Rumble.
Day.
Timmy said it. Royal Rumble, Championship Sunday, Epcot Sunday. Hopefully I get to see Ant. And yeah, go Niners, baby. Brock Purdy.
Brock.
How many shows have we ended with this dude saying "Go a team that's not the Giants"? This has got to be like the 6th or 7th or 15th. It's got to be. We're up to like a quarter of the league at this point.
Oh man.
I feel like that's right.
I mean, what? It's the Bucks, the Jets, the
Yep.
Niners,
Mhm.
Denver,
The Rams.
Mhm.
the
Seahawks.
Rams,
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
That's 6. We're
Well, how about
missing
you up
one.
to 6?
I think I've
We're up
maybe
to
said
6.
the Bills.
I think the Geno Smith thing makes me mad more than anything because he
Yeah, it does.
because he ruined Eli Manning's
Eli's streak. Piece of shit.
streak.
So that's 7 teams, and none of those were the Giants. So we're literally at a quarter of the league.
That's right.
And I think if we kept going, we could probably pull 2 or 3 more out, honestly. But we'll leave it at
The
that.
Titans.
The Titans,
The
that's 8.
Titans.
Hmm?
Man, I
The
don't know.
Falcons. There was a Falcons week in there early.
Oh no,
he was pissed at the Falcons.
I'm pissed because
Okay, you're right.
Arthur Smith.
He was pissed.
I stand down. It
Last year it was the Broncos.
That was this year too. It was both
this
years.
year too. Yeah, he had his moment. So we're at 9 or 8.
8, not counting the Giants, so technically 9.
9. Okay, so 9. I don't think he's ever said "Go Giants" on this show.
I had to have said
But if it's 8, you're north of 25%.
I mean, I've never
Cowboys.
Said no.
We've had several weeks where he's talked about "Go Cowboys." Yes, 100%.
No, when I'm picking
Detroit,
them,
the week they
like,
played
go
Detroit,
Bulls.
he would say "Go Cowboys." The week they played the Eagles, he said "Go Cowboys."
Wait, but you really
I could pull out multiple "Go Cowboys"
you hate
ones.
Detroit and this whole thing that's going on more than you hate the Cowboys. I feel like you need to look at yourself
because we know who the
say,
Cowboys are, and that's who well, no, Detroit's a little bit better, but we know who the Cowboys are, so that doesn't really bother me.
So we're up to 10 teams. We're up to a third of the league.
I've never said go Eagles.
Nope. We could put them on the other side, so it's 10-1 right now.
Or the Commanders.
10-2. This is the Rockies beating the shit out of someone on an afternoon game on a Wednesday right now.
In the third inning. All right, let's move on past this. Ant, what you got here on the way out?
I'm gonna rank of the remaining
misconduct.
teams who I would like to see win the Super Bowl in order. The Detroit Lions, the Baltimore Ravens, fuck everybody else. Thank you.
For me, it's the Lions. Fuck everybody else. But okay, I'll go with that.
I would be okay with Lamar winning a Super Bowl. I like Lamar.
You don't want to see Taylor Swift celebrate.
I've
Super
seen
Bowl
Travis
on
Kelce win
field.
Super Bowls. I'm
yeah,
good.
but you haven't seen him win it with Taylor Swift. Maybe she gets to say we're going to Disney World. Come on.
No, I'm good.
That's too much.
Okay,
well, let's do it. All right, Timmy, what do you want the Super Bowl to be? No matter what you picked.
Lions, Ravens.
Okay. Melo.
Baltimore
Not the
Niners.
Lions. Ant.
I actually want it to be Lions Chiefs, even though I would rather see the Ravens win. I want it to be Lions Chiefs. And the reason for that is because I think that gives the Lions the best chance to win.
Lions get a better chance.
Of all the teams left, if Baltimore goes, I think Baltimore's smashing whoever they play.
I'd like to see Lions for sure. There's a poll up there. What would you rather see happen? Lamar win his first title, Detroit win the first title in whatever years, Mahomes wins his third, and what's the other team? 49. I don't remember what the hell they said for the 49ers. I don't remember what the fuck they said.
They didn't make the list.
I brought a smile to Anthony's face. I just wanted to make you happy.
Nobody wants to fucking see them win.
What do you mean? They get their 6th championship and they tie the Steelers.
What do you mean? The dot in South Florida, yeah?
Who gives a fuck about that? All those Super Bowls were 30 years ago. That's right.
That's why they
Dave,
need one
the
now.
only red dot in South Florida. The rest of the world is rooting for Detroit. You have a pocket in San Francisco, a couple people in San Jose, and then Dave in South Florida.
We'll see. Maybe Dave's the one smiling next week. He's got the potential. He made that risk with the Bucks. He's doing it again this week. Got to admire
Mine's
him
13 with Debo.
Minus 13 with no, you said 10 with Debo, 13 without. That's it.
No,
I'm helping you on that.
How's that helping me? That's worse.
Minus
Debo.
10.
Minus 10 without.
Oh, yeah. Minus 13 without Debo.
Minus 10.5 without. Minus 13.5 with. That was the deal.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll watch this back and realize that I switched.
I made sure I got the half point on both of those.
Yeah, we don't want any pushes around here, right? None of that. All right, let's get up on out of here. We were just kidding. We don't want anybody to die choking on anything or any other murders that Timmy wanted to commit on today's show. Watch back yesterday. Just Too Sweet show covered 40 years of Hulkamania, Royal Rumble coming up, the slow death of AEW. Granny's Peach Tea was just with us as alternate programming. So go back and watch that. A to Z gonna come back anytime soon. A to Z, come on. Where we at? All right. And then Royal Rumble preview show that's coming Saturday.
We did it yesterday.
We did it yesterday. All
you just
into one.
melded. park
But
that baby right in the one.
I will reshare the show out Saturday morning to make sure it's out there for people who missed it.
Perfect. All right, let's get up on out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your sports. Enjoy your movies. Enjoy your weather if there's good weather out there. Timmy, weather kind of turning for you, a little bit warmer.
50s tomorrow and
Balmy,
then,
baby.
And then it drops back down to normal.
Oh, my sister sent me a text this morning. It was 37. Here it was 73. I just remember because it was the exact opposite. And then by Monday, I think it's going to be like 83, 84 through Sunday, and then Monday back into the 60s.
Yeah, big rainstorm on Sunday. Actually, Melo, you picked the worst day to go to Epcot.
It's gonna be raining on Sunday.
No. Yeah.
What's better than getting drunk in the rain? Just not caring about it.
Getting drunk in not the rain.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna be hiding in the land.
Everyone's gonna be hiding. Period. All the lines are gonna be fucking hours long. The park
is it really gonna rain that much?
If it rains, it's a cold front. So, like the last time we had a cold front like this come through, it rained like the whole fucking day.
The fucking land.
But sometimes, by the time that's up there. Sometimes by the time the cold front gets down here, it dissipates a little bit. We don't get that much rain.
Oh yeah, we get all the rain when the cold front comes through.
Guardians, is it
keep it
all inside?
Is it what?
Is it's all indoors?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to get the pass though, first thing in the morning, like fucking 6 a.m.
Yay.
You have to be awake, log into the app, and get the pass, or else you can't ride it. And I can't help you on that. I can't do nothing about that. I don't have that kind of pull over there.
Well, no, I was gonna like.
Come on, Ann. Come on. What are we paying?
I'm still waiting for Steve's. Steve's supposed to be getting me media passes for all this stuff, and I haven't gotten any of them yet. So
for Disney, I think Timmy's
for
got
everything.
a better shot
for everything, sporting events. I'm waiting for my Pro Bowl field passes from Steve.
Pro Bowl. Listen. Right here. I'm gonna reach out to Peyton in a bit.
Thank you.
He's in LA right now. It's 8:45 there.
I should be getting more tickets soon.
To where? To what?
To Disney.
Things.
Oh, I was like
things of interest.
The happiest place on earth.
We're going.
I haven't been to Disney. I don't remember when.
Just don't come in July or August.
This year, I'm going to do you're going to stay at Universal and then use my Disney passes to get in for free. We're going to do that this time.
Makes sense.
Universal
hotels. Universal hotels are really nice, actually.
This way, I'm walking distance to Hogan's Beach Shop. I can go there every day until he shows up. I'm going to tell the guy who works there, I'm going to come here every day and sit here until Hulk Hogan shows up. So you better tell him to get down here.
And then what are you going to do?
The last
liar?
He lives in Clearwater. He's not coming over here.
That's what I said. Get in your fucking Corvette, your yellow Corvette, and drive your ass down here, Hulk. I'm ready.
The last time I was.
You've been dodging me for 40 years, Hulk.
It looked like it was like shut down. Nobody in the front and stuff.
Hogan's Beach Shop?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a shithole. It's definitely a shithole.
It's like across the street from a Howard Johnson on the International Drive.
It is. Right next to the
I've
Popeyes,
driven past it like 50 times. I've never seen it.
What was that?
Lust in your eyes, Hogan.
That's right. I want to call him and tell him that you got lust. I want you to call Hogan and tell him he has lust, and he has to get down here right now. When he walks out, I'm going to smash him in the face with a belt. End up going to jail. Idiot thinks wrestling is real. In jail for attacking Hulk Hogan.
You start whipping him. You get the savage Macho Man belt out.
You'll be a hero to many, Timmy, if you did that.
That's true.
All right. So that'll do it for us. Weekend. What are any movies coming out this weekend? We should know that. But we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that in the Facebook group. Championship Sunday coming up, and then after Championship Sunday, we just got one more damn football game left. Used to 16 a week, guys. 16 a week. All right. That'll do it for us. We hope you enjoy. Peace out, everybody. And Melo, how many more weeks we got you for? This is very important. If I'm delaying an ending of a show, it's very important.
I have.
So he can plan your replacement.
Already doing it right in front of me too. I only have 2 more. Well, a little bit more than 2 weeks.
can't believe you're not gonna be here for the
Up
playoffs.
next, Melo's
Music-
replacement
A little bit more.
from wherever.
Will you live on the cruise ship? You just be like,
So I would only be able to make up to 88.
We're
And I wouldn't
planning.
be able to talk Super Bowl.
Wow.
We're planning something.
What? Oh shit! Because it's before.
It's literally the
I
day
thought you said you
before
wait. When do you leave?
the 12th.
Oh fuck! The day after the Super Bowl. Jesus. No, but you
Yeah.
said you come back. You come back a week.
I
come back like a week later.
No, it's in 2. So the 23rd, I would sign off,
Oh,
and
fuck,
then I
that's-
would sign
that's-
back on the 25th.
It's 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. We can't wait that
Well,
long to talk about Super Bowl.
Here's a good tease. We're
oh,
planning.
we can get
we're
Melo's
planning
input.
something, we're planning something on Just Too Sweet for his departure. So that's just a good tease.
All right.
I think the real reason Melo's leaving is because he didn't want to be here for the Super Bowl show when we have to talk for about the Detroit Lions for 2 hours.
Super Bowl champion Detroit Lions.
But Jared Goff, Super Bowl MVP, right?
We're gonna open that show with the Goof Troop theme song.
Oh, without a doubt, that's exactly what's going to happen. All right, everybody. Episode 86 in the books. Peace out, everybody. Oh, are the Miami Heat going to do anything else before the trade deadline? Prediction, real
We
quick.
can.
Will they?
I don't think so.
I think they
Kimmy doesn't
might
care.
go for like a. I could see them going after like a Royce O'Neal or something like that, like a wing defender type player. But
Heard
if
it here
that
first.
wouldn't shock me if they didn't.
Sidney Dean.
Potential
or,
Royce O'Neal to the Miami Heat per Anthony. Peace out, everybody.